All right, this is the Rhinos pregame show sponsored by Perry's Ice Cream. I'm Joe Giuliano. Try this thing again here. Big news today for the Rochester Rhinos. They'll be hosting an English soccer club, Sheffield Wednesday, coming to Rochester on Saturday, July 22nd, 7:35 kickoff at Paytech Park. Now, Sheffield Wednesday plays in the English Coca-Cola Championship League, just one notch below the English Premiership. Tickets are $25, $18, $15, and $10. They'll go on sale Monday, June 5th, 10 a.m. You can pick up your tickets at the Paytech Park box office and all Ticketmaster locations. Spanish club Alaves will acquire a USL First Division franchise. Dimitri Peterman, the president of the Spanish league club Deportivo Alaves, has signed a letter of intent to operate a USL First Division franchise beginning in 2007. Looks like they'll be playing in San Francisco, San Jose, or the Oakland, California area. Huge news from the world of soccer today. Samuel Eto'o and Giuliano Belletti scored in the final 15 minutes to lead Barcelona past Arsenal 2-1 this afternoon in the final of the Europeans Champions League. Barcelona also in the Champions League in 1992. Great match to watch. If you haven't seen it, it's on again at midnight tonight on ESPN2. So listen to the Rhinos game here on Fickle, then check out the Champions League final today. And also Real Madrid announcing today they will have an exhibition match with Real Salt Lake on August the 12th. The site will likely be Lavelle Edwards Stadium in Provo, Utah, also the campus of BYU. And check this out. In Brazil, banks in Brazil can shorten their hours to give employees a chance to watch the national soccer team's World Cup games on television. Banks and other financial institutions must open for at least 4 hours on match days, but can otherwise set their own schedule. I guess Brazil is banking on reaching the World Cup finals. Well, this is going to do it for the Rhinos pregame show brought to you by Perry's Ice Cream. When we come back, we'll go live to Don Stevens. He'll be calling all the action tonight between the Rochester Raging Rhinos and the defending USL First Division champion Seattle Sounders. All the action coming to you live from West Field. You can check in with us on the postgame show after Don Stevens calls all the action tonight here on the Raging Rhinos Broadcast Network.
Well, good evening to you from Seattle in the northwest part of the country, of course, and it is a gorgeous day here in Seattle. Bright blue skies overhead, and it is beautiful. It's been into about the mid-80s today, very warm, but it is a very pleasant evening, and we're at Quest Field, of course, the home of the Seattle Seahawks, and right now, of course, the home of the Seattle Sounders soccer team. And they did last game raise the championship banner from last year, so the Sounders, the defending champs, taking on the Rhinos here tonight. Rochester coming into its fourth game of the season, and it is the fourth also on the road for the Sounders' third game of the season. They've played one at home, one on the road. The Rhinos have fared much better than have the Sounders so far. Rochester with a 3-0 record, and the Sounders no wins, one loss, and one tie on the year. Last game for the Rhinos coming away with a victory in Toronto, defeating the Lynx by a 2-0 score and out-shooting Toronto in that one, 21-12. So the Rhinos getting rolling and continue to roll right along in their last game, and they'll look to do the same here tonight. Talking with the coach of the Rhinos, Laurie Calloway, asked him for his thoughts on that victory a few days ago against Toronto.
I thought we started the game extremely well, and we were very sharp. We were playing well both ends of the field. We're getting chances. We scored the goal again fairly early, and looked like we were going to go on and win much more comfortably than we did. But the game got a bit scrappy in the latter part of the first half, and I think when it's 10v11, there's always some disruption of the game, and so we didn't really dominate as you're supposed to do 11v10, but we still had a lot of chances in the second half that we could have won the game very easily, but as it was, we had to wait for the second one from ball, and it was a solid performance, an effective performance, and as they say, good teams win whether it's pretty or, I wouldn't say it was ugly, but they didn't play as well as we perhaps did in Miami, for instance.
I know, as we talked about before last game, that you were maybe a little bit about the focus of the team. You feel okay about that right now, or is there still a concern since you've gotten 3-0 so far?
No, I think the team's very focused. I think they're very together. These trips are helping a great deal. I mean, I know it's tough to be on the road for 7 games and long stretches like the Miami, Puerto Rico, and this one's 8 days here on the West Coast, so it's difficult, but they're also bonding the team and bringing them together, and we remind them of certain things before every game, having to being able to field a consistent lineup, it helps because you don't have to go through your set pieces all the time and readjust to different positions in different players in different positions. So it's breeding consistency as well. And I don't think focus will be a problem tonight. The thing when you come over across the country like this is the effect that the plane ride and the jet lag and all that has on them. We try to get back on the West Coast time quickly. We got them up early this morning, so early for them at 8 was 11 in Rochester, so we're trying to get them adjusted as soon as possible, and we'll see how it affects them tonight in this game.
Now you're talking about a consistent lineup. Any new injuries out of last game? Everything okay for this one?
No, Kenny Burts has recovered from his bug or whatever he had. Got some meds from the doctor last week and on Monday before we left, and he seems fine. Some bumps and bruises, but nothing serious. The starting lineup will be the same as started against Toronto.
They come out here for three games. Actually, as I look at the schedule, this is 3 big games. This is really quite a test for you. Seattle, Portland, Vancouver. It's going to be tough on you, isn't it?
Well, Seattle's champions. They raised their banner on Sunday in a home opener. They had 10,000 people almost, I guess, to see the ceremony. It's the only championship banner in the stadium. Seahawks don't have one, so it was a big day for them. They'll be flying high, I'm sure. They've lost badly in Minnesota 4-0, and they tied the home opener, so I'm sure they're hell-bent on getting that first win, so it's going to be difficult. But the other 2 games, two good teams, and Vancouver right now, first place, although if we win tonight, we'll go above them.
So as you come out here, are you expecting to win all 3? Do you figure, okay, well, we need to take 2 out of 3, anything like that?
Well, you know me, I'm expecting to win all 3.
I know that the idea, of course, is not to look beyond game 1, so is that what you're telling your players, and don't go beyond this game?
We're taking the games one at a time. We haven't talked much about Vancouver or Portland at all in the 24 hours or so since we left Rochester, or the Monday training. We've been talking about Seattle and what we need to do against Seattle, and then we'll take as soon as we get in the locker room after the game tonight, we'll start talking about Portland.
How about Seattle then? What do you know about this team?
Again, champions last year, but they're big 2 defenders, which were the goalkeeper Burpo, he's gone MLS, and to Chivas, and Taylor Graham, the big centre back, who we tried to get because he was so dominant last year, went to New York in the Major League. So they're without those 2, and maybe that reflected in their first game, 4-0 in Minnesota. I saw that Minnesota had 15 shots against them on the road on Sunday in Seattle. So, maybe they're not quite as they were last year with the defense. The cast of characters throughout the rest of the team seems pretty much the same, and they'll be tough. And one of the strengths of Seattle and Vancouver is that they've had the same players for a long time. They don't change much. So I think we'll see a tough team to break down, a team that doesn't score a lot of goals, and it's going to be a battle.
Is your game plan to go at them, to sit back, or what?
No, we're going to start with we've got 2 attacking players in midfield, 3 attacking players. Ball, I consider a player both ways. T-Bone's a defensive player. Johnny Monyonger and Janino, have some deficiencies defensively, but when they have the ball, we're defending. So, because the other team hasn't got it. So that's, the old adage, best form of defense is to attack. So we've got a nice balance, and sometimes the frustration of us not maybe defending properly in midfield can cause frustration, but I think it's given us the chance to score 6 goals on the road and have 45 shots, which is unusual for any team on the road.
And in goal?
Bello.
All right, the comments from the coach of the Rhinos, Laurie Calloway. It says Scott Bello will get the starting goal as expected for this one today. And the Rhinos meeting the Seattle Sounders for the first of 2 times this year. They'll meet one more time, and that'll be July 28th in Rochester. Last season, it was 2 games played between the 2 teams, and the Rhinos coming away winless on the season against Seattle. The game that was played here ended in a loss. The game that was played in Rochester ended in a tie. First time they met last year was June 21st here in Seattle, and losing 1-0. And then the return match in Rochester on July the 15th was a 1-goal tie. Overall, in the history of the two teams, Rhinos still coming out a notch under the 500 mark against this squad. A 4-5-1 record for the Rhinos against Seattle. And here in Seattle, 1 win and 4 losses. For the Rhinos, again, game 4 of the season, a 3-0 record, 9 points, currently second in the USL Division 1 standings. As the Sounders, winless, with a loss and a tie, have just 1 point, and that puts them in 10th place in the league. So Seattle, in defending their title, has a long way to go, but they have been seriously hurt by a lot of injuries early on this season, so they'll be looking to come up with points as much as possible, but still they'll be struggling a little bit because they do have a few injuries to contend with. So far in the season, Rhinos have outscored their opposition 6-0. 6-0 for the Rhinos. And currently in goal scoring, that puts them 4th in the league with the 6 goals. And naturally, first overall, not having given an F any so far. Shots, the Rhinos have outshot the opposition by a 47-41 margin. For the Seattle Sounders, they have been outscored by the opposition 5-1 this far. They've only scored 1 goal and given up 5, so they're 11th in the league in goals for with 1, and 6th in the league in goals against with 5. They have not outshot the opposition in the 2 previous games that they have played. So there's a few of the numbers as the teams are being introduced here at Quest Field. There's a few people starting to trickle into the stadium, but it looks like it's going to be a very sparse crowd tonight. Last game they had 10,000. Well, they say 9,000 plus, so a little under 10,000 they had for the last game. But tonight, being a Wednesday night and such a gorgeous day, maybe everybody else has found something else to do today because they aren't here at Quest Field for this one. As I would estimate right now, just a couple of hundred people in the stands. They were figuring there might be somewhere around 7,000 for this one, but maybe a little bit of an overestimation for what's going to be in attendance here tonight at Quest Stadium. The Rhinos' starting lineup will be the same as they've had now in 3 of the 4 games. There was only one change, and that was in Game 2 when Frankie Sanfilippo came up injured, couldn't play in the second game, but he did come back and play in the third. So we're going to be getting underway here at Quest Field in Seattle in a moment. It's the Rhinos taking on the Sounders, and this is the Rhinos Broadcast Network. At Quest Stadium in Seattle, the home of the Seattle Sounders, also the home of the Seattle Seahawks. You can kind of see the outline of the football alignment configuration on the field, as it has been. I'm not sure if they paint over the football lines or what they do, but you can see the numbers, you can see the lines in the field very faintly, and you can see the Seattle Seahawks logo in the center circle. But for the most part, it's been nicely done, as the white lines in the field are pretty much only that of a soccer configuration. All right, let's check the lineup for tonight. First of all, for the home team, that being the Seattle Sounders. In goal is David Mahoney. Has played 1 game so far, gave up 4 goals. That was the first goal of the first game of the season and came away with a 4-0 loss. So Mahoney is in goal for the Seattle Sounders. Through the defense, we'll see Ben Somoza, Danny Jackson, Zach Scott, and C.A. Abalaji. And the midfield will include Kevin Sakuda, C.J. Klaas, Andrew Greger, and Gabe Sturm. And then up front, the forwards, Roger Levesque and Jamal Sutton. Levesque, of course, leading this team in point production last season. For the Rhinos, the starters will include Scott Vallow in goal. Has gone the distance thus far, has played all 3 games, a 3-0 record for Vallow and a 0.00 goals against average. The defensive role will include Frankie Sanfilippo, Kenny Birch back in the lineup tonight, Scott Palguda and Nate Kraft. And through the midfield, Tinwa Bansu, Johnny Manyunger, John Ball, and Juninho will be the other midfielder. And up front, the same front alignment of Charles Becky and Matthew Delicott. The Rhinos wearing the black and white striped jerseys tonight with the black shorts and socks, and shooting at the net to my right. Scott Dallow's in goal to my left. The Sounders wearing the dark blue uniforms as play underway and headed off at the far wing. Ben Younger in underneath it for the Rhinos, drops it off. Pushed forward by the Sounders at the midfield line. Tipped back to their own side of midfield and chased down by Jackson. As he looks around, rolls it toward the middle. Gregor with it there. As he looks around from his own 35, chips it up the right wing side. Across midfield, but booted back. It's tipped again across the midfield line. A head ball as we're playing a little bit of a volleyball over the center line. The foul is called on the Rhinos, and it's a restart for the Sounders. Into the center circle. Scott pushes it out on the near side. Head on the left wing. Right upfield by Abalaji and across midfield. That turned back again to the midfield line. Laid to the outside of the near wing. Taken by Scott. His pass back in the middle, and that is his last name. Zach is his first name, Zach Scott. Ahead now, and is Sturm into Rhino territory. Taken away by Ball on the near side as they battle out around the 40 on the near side. Ball to midfield, but it's knocked away and recovered by the Rhinos. Becky in the middle for Bonsu. In the center circle, pushing it to the outside on the left wing for Kraft. Drawing it forward up the left wing side, chips it through midfield. A flick on attempt by Delicat. Becky on his horse, trying to get to it. Hit it back inside the 18 to the keeper. Grabbed on one hop by Mahoney, and the Seattle keeper has the ball. That is David Mahoney at 6'2", 200 pounds, a 25-year-old from Wellesley, Massachusetts. Played the Chicago Fire last year. He's on loan from the Chicago Fire this year. Headed in the air through midfield into Rhino territory. Ball knocked down. Sanfilippo went underneath it, but that's popped up in the air and out of bounds on the near side. Rhinos will have a throw-in from their own 35 on the near side of the field. And Sanfilippo moving in for the throw-in. Sanfilippo, the right back tonight. Central defenders, Palguda and Burtz. And again on the left side is Kraft. The throw-in going short to Delicott on the near wing, who drops it back. Taken there by Burtz, and he'll roll it along his 25 into the middle for Palguda. Rhinos switch it off on the left wing side. Brought ahead by Kraft. As he's watched closely, Kraft drawing it toward the middle. Now feeds a pass out near midfield. Juninho take it down from behind by Sakuda. And the foul is called and a restart for the Rhinos. Rochester will have the free kick from somewhere around their own 40 off the left wing side. As Vallow recovers the ball, brings it forward. He'll take the kick. Well, the sun's shining on the upper deck on the far side of the field, but the whole field is entirely in shadow, so no sun to worry about. And, of course, in this enclosed, or rather walled-in, if you will, facility, there's no wind to contend with. The roof is open overhead. Vallow will send it downfield, coming down around the 20, headed inside the box. That's headed away and out. Juninho side volley kick, but he miscued. And the ball is headed away out top to the 35. Headed right back inside. Levac went over top of Becky, who's in behind, and the whistle to stop play. Actually, foul is called. So it'll be a free kick for the Sounders from just inside their own 18, and the ball placed by the keeper, Mahoney. Who will take the kick? Referee for this game, Colin Arblaster. The assistants, Scott Lawrence and Manuel Soledad. And the fourth official, Brian Armas. Down into Rhino territory. Again, that's to my left here in the first half of play. Chipped off in the corner, but taken down. Was the Seattle player crossed away by Kraft, and a foul is being called. And it looks like maybe the plastic is coming out. The referee over writing in his book. And it looks like Dave Kraft will draw the yellow card. Yes, he does. So here in the fourth minute, the caution issued to Kraft. And that's the first card of the night. So free kick for the Sounders, 25 yards out off the right wing side. And the kicker across the way. Of course, I can only see the numbers on the back, and he's not going to turn his back to me so I can see who it is. It's a left-footed kicker, whoever it may be. Across the way. Looking to serve it up. Just getting started. No score. Here's the low service inside the 18. Head ball knocked down by Levac, but off his head and rolls out over the end line. Goal kick for the Rhinos. Calguda very upset about something. He's yelling at the ref and pointing at Levac about something. Now Vallow coming out, talking to Menyonger. And we'll turn around and go back for the goal kick. So Scott Vallow placing the ball. It is 6 for the goal kick. We're in the 5th minute now from Seattle, and there is no score between the Rhinos and the Sounders. Vallow backing up, getting ready for the goal kick as the players have moved out to near midfield. With the right foot, line drive kick through midfield, just barely over the midfield line, headed back into Rhino territory, knocked down there by Levac, dropping it back, but recovered by Juninho, brought away across midfield. As he's tripped up, gets slowed up, and the ball rolls away and taken back by the Sounders. Into the center circle, Sutton spinning around, rolls it to the outside, switching off on the right wing. Somoza with a pass up the right side, dropped back at the midfield line. Somoza again with the right foot deal, play it back to his own side of midfield. The Sounders have the ball. Jackson, long service downfield, flights it deep in the far corner, and a foot race for the ball in the corner. It's centered out in front along the 6th, grabbed on one hop by Vallow. He'll throw it off on the far side. Menyonga will bring it away for the Rhinos. Approaching midfield. Being double teamed now. Turns to get away. Feeding to the center circle. Ball will dummy it out on the near side. And running onto the ball is Sanfilippo. Up the right wing. Down to the 25. Slows it up. Now across. Along the 15. But headed away out of the box. Settled up top. Defeat by Menyonga. As he turns to his right, back to his left. Trying to get away from Sakuda. Still Menyonga sneaks it through. But the ball is knocked away out top. Bansu with it. Plays it back on the near wing near the midfield line where it's taken by Sanfilippo. Long service down inside the 18. Becky chasing it down in the far end of the box. Has it 15 yards out. Rolls it back on top. Juninho around the 35. Looks for the overlap, but now he turns toward the middle. To the 20, to the outside. Give and go in front, but it's chipped away and all the way out to midfield. Stepping underneath as Birch runs over the Seattle player. And play goes on. Neither one were near the ball as the collision sent them both to the turf. Right away, the Rhinos have it. In midfield, Sanfilippo toward the middle. Bansu up the right side, but too far ahead. And it's recovered by Abalaji of the Sounders. It's a return pass and chips it through midfield into Rhino territory. Sutton up the left wing side. However, offside flag is in the air across the way. Offside against the Sounders. No score in the game. And we're in the 7th minute now in Seattle. Restart. Rhinos with the ball. Long chip downfield by Kraft. Lights it through, headed in the air by Jackson of the Sounders, off in the far wing for Sturm, or make that for Somoza, and a shoulder collision there, off of Delicott, and the ball rolls out of bounds. Throw in for the Rhinos, about 18 yards out, off the far side of the field. That's the left wing side, and moving up will be the rookie defender, Kenny Birch. Has that long throw in. He can serve it all the way through the box from the far side, from the sidelines. Not a lot of power behind that throw in. Actually, he's going to be taking the throw-in from much further out, about 25, 28 yards out. Takes a look. Players lining up just inside the 18. It's a little bit of a run at it. And a long throw into the middle of the box. Head ball up in the air, and it comes out the near side and booted away. Out to the 35, settled by Menyonga. Takes a crack at it with the right foot, but it skips by the right post and out over the end line. So a goal kick for the Sounders as the Rhinos get their first opportunity of the night. And a goal kick to be taken by the keeper, Mahoney. David Mahoney at 25 years of age. Right-footed kicker. 8th minute, no score from Seattle. High floater through midfield coming down to the center circle. And Younger up in the air. Also, the ball goes up, and it's headed across midfield. Flick forward by Delicott. Becky turning it behind, but can't get to it. Take it back. Somoza rolls it back to his keeper. Mahoney out with first time and away. Sends it downfield into Rhino territory. Up they go, and the ball is knocked down in the center circle. Pulled away again. Stepping in, Palgood with a foot sends it through midfield to Becky. As he looks for the pass, giving it off to Juninho, looking to slot it through for John Ball. Up the left side, through the 18, moving it, roller in. A hand stopped by Mahoney. Got the left hand on it. Knocks the ball down, grabs it at his 6 and holds on. So Ball with an opportunity right there. And the big save made by Mahoney. Through midfield, popped up in the air through the center circle, comes out of the near side. And underneath it is Sturm to bring it away for the Sounders, chased by Menyonga. But Sturm turns the ball back to Abalaji at the midfield line. Toward the middle. A rolling ball through to Gregor. In the middle for Levac. Spins around, back to Gregor. High chip off on the open right wing side as they chase the ball down deep in the far corner. And it is stopped in the corner. A battle for it as the ball rolls out of bounds. And that off of the Sounders. So it'll be a throw in for the Rhinos. About 2 yards out in the left wing corner. Sponsors of these broadcasts include the Messenger Post. Stay posted. Call 442-POST for subscription information. By Power Trip. Taste the power. And by Marina Dodge at 943 Ridge Road in Webster. On the throw-in, ball taken back by the Sounders and then sent to the end line. Rolls out over the end line, and that off of the Rhinos, so it'll be a corner kick for the Sounders. First corner of the match. And this will be off the right wing side. Looks like Gregor moving over for the throw-in. Gregor, left-footed kicker, in-swinging kick. As they line it up, and here comes the third. No, the whistle stops play as the players are jockeying for a position. Andrew Gregor, 5'11", 30-year-old from Portland. And he'll back up on the ball again as they get some pushing and shoving going on in front of the Rochester net. Here's the service. Low into the box, bending in front, up in the air. Vallow brings it down at his 3 and comes away with the ball. So Vallow controlling his own 6-yard box. Waits for the players to move away. Waves them downfield. Now steps in with a right-footed volley kick. High floater through midfield. That's a flick on by Delicott. Chased down, couple of bounces inside the 18, but getting back first is Somoza for the Sounders. Plays it off at the far wing, stepping in to knock it loose is Juninho, trying to get around, but the ball then taken back by the Sounders. Brought ahead, turned back inside the 18, and then booted away out to near midfield for Levesque. As he turns, drops it off, but has to chase the ball down himself. Now he'll switch it to the outside on the near wing for Sturm. And across midfield. Long service through in front. That's flighted over everybody, but chased up the right side. Right down to the Rochester 18, to the 15, down to the 10, trying to turn it back in the middle. Here's a service along the 6, up in the air. Hit ball comes out the near side. It's over the end line, and that off the Sounders, so it'll be a goal kick for the Rhinos. Rochester goal kick. No score, 11th minute from Seattle. Again, the 4th match of the season for the Rhinos, 3rd of the year for the Sounders. Battle placing the ball. This is the 4th of the 7 straight games on the road during the month of May for the Rhinos. First home game, June the 3rd at the new Paytech Park. If you haven't gotten your tickets yet, make sure you do so. Don't miss history coming up on June the 3rd. Headed back into Rhino territory. Sanfilippo there with the right foot sends it out to midfield. Ball is pushed from behind. Ball brought away, but it is controlled by the Rhinos recovering as Bunsu drops it off in the center circle. Juninho plays it out of the left side. Gets a return pass from Kraft. Brings it down to the 35, a feet ahead. A give and go Becky back to Juninho, but got away from him off his shin. And then cleared out to midfield by the Sounders. Headed forward by Sanfilippo for Bunsu. Drops it to his own side of midfield. Played out of the near wing. Burt's with it. Sanfilippo dropping it back to his 35. Burt's has it. And he'll switch to the left wing side for Kraft. Drawing it ahead. Now he'll chip it across midfield. Flick by Delicott up the left wing side. Trying to chase back for Becky. But getting to it first Jackson for the Sounders. Pushing it out on the far side. Taken there by Ben Somoza, who was named to the Team of the Week last week in the league, along with Frankie Sanfilippo of the Rhinos, each a member of the Team of the Week last week. Juninho looking to get away. Drops it back. Turning off on the left wing side. Kraft spinning around at midfield. Being chased. Now drops it back its own side of midfield. Burt stepping up will knock it away from Levesque. But again, the Sounders have it. Cross midfield. Turn to the outside of the near wing. Stepping in and turn to take it away is Sanfilippo. Moves up the right side and across midfield on the attack. Come the Rhinos. Pass toward the middle. Younger has to slow up, stop, and pick up the ball. Now spins around, has it 25 yards out. Tries it on the right side for John Ball. Working toward the end line. Looking for the cross. Now against Abalaji. Now double teamed and the ball pulled away. And out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in on the near side for the Rhinos. On it 8 yards out off the right wing side. And Kenny Burts, of course, will move in to take the throw-in on this ball. Well, the players that are available for substitution in this game. Ricky Lewis, Connolly Adosian, Greg Howes, Jason Perry, Aaron Lyons, Danny Kramer, Neil Dombrowski, and Patrick Hannigan is suspended for 1 game, so Rhinos do not have a backup goalkeeper for this one. Burts with the throw-in, down along the 6, hit ball in, and it's 2 feet over top of the crossbar, off the header from Charles Becky. So a nice throw-in by Burts, and Becky up in the air with the head ball, but about a couple of feet high. No score still from Seattle, 14th minute. As the ball will be booted away by the keeper, Mahoney. Lights it through midfield, coming down just across the midfield line, headed forward, and the Rhinos again with it. As kicked ahead, but knocked away by the Sounders and chipped across into Rochester territory. Sanfilippo heads it up the right wing side for Ball, but it bounced too high for him. Well, I'll tell you, the ball is very lively on the turf here tonight. As Sam was saying in the pregame show, it was flattened out. And they had all kinds of things on top of the artificial surface here for other events. That's along the 35 on the far side. Recovered by Somoza. Turns to get away from Becky. Drops it back to the 6 for his keeper. And Mahoney first times it through midfield. So the ball, it's like playing on cement, as Sam was talking about. The ball very lively. Booted through midfield, headed aside, and turning back for it goes Sturm for the Sounders. Chasing it down at his 20. And off on the near side for Abalaji. Off the left wing and a pass near midfield for Sturm. Checking back, drops it off in the middle. Scott on the outside. Abalaji with a pass ahead to midfield. Levesque tips it through midfield. And trying to get away is Sutton. And turns the ball along the near wing. Sutton still with it. Bothered there by Sanfilippo. Drops it across midfield. Abalaji. Pass toward the middle for Gregor. Into Rhino territory. The pass booted away and the Rhinos take it back. Through midfield, Delicott tips it out on the right side. John Ball has it. The Rhinos moving forward. Ball serves it in the middle, but right to a Sounder player. Jackson is just knocked down. Then take it away. The Rhinos have it. Juninho in the middle for Menyunger. To the 20, to the outside. Ball has it. Down to the 10, looking for a cross, and it hits the player as he booted it toward the middle, but it hit the player, Abalaji. It looked like it hit him in the hand. Ball wants a handball, no call, and the ball rolls out over the end line. It'll be a corner kick for the Rhinos. Corner kick, first of the match for Rochester. Players that are not along on the trip include Kevin Taylor, Chad Sievers, Johnny Steele, Josh Bolton, and Ray Martinez, and of course out injured for the season, Jonathan Bolanos. The former Seattle Sounder, Greg Howes, by the way, also a former Seattle Sounder, began his professional career right here in Seattle. He's from Tacoma. And is here at the pregame show, Rory Calloway coached here in Seattle. There's the service off the corner kick in front, and it's hit up in the air off the far end of the box. Chase down, drop back, Janino will then flick it toward the corner and chasing after it there. In a collision with Somoza, the ball rolls out over the end line, and a goal kick for the Sounders. Other sponsors of these broadcasts tonight include the Personal Health Approach, Rochester's upscale health club at 3450 Winton Place. Call 232-8888. By Moliere Chevrolet Buick, West Main Street in Honeoye Falls, or online at Moliere.com. And by Perry's Ice Cream. Life's a bowl of Perry's. Out through midfield into Rhino territory. Chased up the wing as they tie up. And the foul is called on Kraft as he wrapped up Leveque. So it'll be a restart for the Sounders. Just across the midfield line in Rhino territory. Again, that's to my left here in the first half. Pushed up the far side, brought ahead by Sakuda. Down to the Rhino 10, a high cross through the box, comes out the near side, getting a foot on it. Sturm turns it back in front, but that's played away by Bonsu and out the near wing, brought upfield by the Rhinos. Ball up the right side, approaching midfield, slips it toward the middle for Menyonger. Now he moves it into the center circle, switching to the left wing side and taken there by Janino. Rolls it ahead, overlapping on the outside is Kraft. Down to the 35. Draws it ahead, one-on-one, trying to get away from Kloss. Rolls it toward the middle. Menyonger dummies it through, but it's intercepted on the other side and brought away by the Sounders. In turn, knocked away by Birch, but that's too far ahead. Skips out of bounds on the far side. Throw it at the midfield line on the far side of the field for the Sounders. Again, no score. 18th minute from Seattle. Throw in for the Sounders. Long up the right wing side, rolling to the corner. Might even make the end line as Palguda blocking Soloza. And a whistle to stop play. Offside is the call. Offside against the Sounders. So restart for the Rhinos. Vallow out to take the kick from just inside of his own 18. Season tickets are still on sale. Purchase one of the Rhinos ticket packages and set yourself up with the best seats in the house at Paytech Park. Call 454-KICK to pick up your seats. And again, season tickets still available. Out of the midfield circle. Taken back by the Sounders. Pushed to the outside of the near wing. Sliding in. Sanfilippo but couldn't get to it. Brought ahead. Here come the Sounders. But take it down Leveque and the Rhinos bring it away. Burt's in the middle. Menyonger in the circle. Ahead for Janino at the midfield line. Drives it across midfield. Being pushed from behind. Taken down. Foul is called. Or no. Play goes on. No foul is called. Wow. Janino run over from behind by Sakuda. And he has a couple of words for the referee. Then he comes back and delivers a hit of his own. A little payback there on the part of Janino. Turn to the outside. Kraft drops it back. Palguda from his 25 turns toward the middle to get away from Leveque. Draws it off to the 35 for ball, and he rolls it back to the keeper. Vallow has it at his own 10 with the right foot. Will hammer it out across the midfield line. In underneath it is Abalaji. On the near side and a pass ahead into Rhino territory. Stepping up is Sutton. Switching to the outside on the right wing for Kloss. Down to the 20. Here's a cross along of the 6. Up in the air. Hit ball. Up goes. Vallow comes down with the ball, and he's up the back of a Seattle player and does control the ball. Wanted to throw it ahead, but Menyonger, I believe he's looking at Menyonger, was running away and didn't see the ball coming, so Vallow held on to it. Very wisely so. 20th minute, no score. Center circle, Bonsu pushing it ahead for ball, drops it back to his own 40. Sanfilippo then switching to the left wing side. After it, underneath the ball is Kraft, chased from behind, but gets away from Leveque. Sends a long service downfield. Becky trying to sneak through, but getting the foot on it is Scott. For the Sounders, pushing it out to the far side. Somoza ahead and out near midfield. Giving it off, turning back in the middle is Leveque. There rolls a return pass in front, but gets away from him and picked up again by the Rhinos. Center circle, drawn forward by John Ball. 35, down to the 30. Crack with the right foot. He just misses the upper right corner. Ball going for it. With a great shot, a cannon from about 35 yards out. Just misses the upper right corner. John Ball leading the league, coming into tonight with 3 goals. Scored 2 in the first game and picked up another one last game. So he leads the Rhinos and the league with 3 goals so far. Here's the right-footed kick from Mahoney. High service through midfield. That's flicked across the midfield line. Popped up in the air by Gregor for Levesque. Back to Gregor. Tries the near wing, but blocked and brought away by Birds. He'll move it ahead. Juninho approaching the center circle. Rolls it to the outside of the near wing for Ball. Turns it ahead across midfield. Rhinos have it in Seattle territory. Ball on the near wing for Sanfilippo. Back in the middle for Ball. As he's watched closely, we'll switch places on the near side. Sanfilippo up the right wing for Ball. To hit along the near touchline. Rolls it toward the middle for Juninho. As he's being taken down. Finally pulled down, and now a foul is called. And they foul on Gregor. And Juninho, looking around at his elbow, came down pretty hard on the elbow. Landed, I think, actually on top of the ball. And rolls over. So a free kick for the Rhinos, 30 yards out, right wing side. 21st minute from Seattle, no score. Players lining up along the 18, a 2-man wall at the near corner of the box. Juninho service down in front, but headed away and on top. And Younger settles at 25 yards out, trying to push it forward. However, headed away all the way out to midfield. Kraft has it in the center circle. Long to the right wing side, again off on the near wing. Juninho in underneath it on one bounce. Settles the ball to feet. Turns along the near side, now drops it back to the midfield line. Sanfilippo has it again. This time he'll go to the left wing side. Ball in underneath it. Draws it forward along the 18. Trying to get loose. Tied up. Ends it off to Becky. Drops it on top. Bonsu from 30 with the right foot. He floats it high and wide left of the mat. Couple of feet over the crossbar. A little wide to the left. So the Rhinos are starting to get some shots away, but missing the net. Another goal kick for the Sounders. Right now I have unofficially the Rhinos outshooting Seattle 5-1. 5 shots for the Rhinos and 1 for the Sounders. Again, that's unofficial. Through midfield, headed away by Palguda across the midfield line, and he runs up the back of Levesque, and a foul is called. So a restart for the Sounders. We have referee coming over talking to Ben Younger. As Ben Younger had gotten in front of the ball in the restart and wanted to slow up the play so he allowed his teammates to get back in position. The ref says don't do that, and I'm sure he won't until the next time. Shot it down inside the 18. Up in the air goes Battle to bring it away, and the Rhino keeper has the ball. Moves the players away. 23rd minute from Seattle, no score. 3 games in the West now as Rhinos move on Friday night to Portland, next Monday night at Vancouver. Cross midfield, stepping in underneath it, Kraft. As he was grabbed onto it, a foul was called on Sutton, so a free kick for the Rhinos. Restart for the Rhinos from their own 35. Kraft will take the kick, left-footed kicker. Kraft in his first year as a Rhino, done a great job thus far and has gone the distance. With the left foot, delivers through midfield. Up goes Delicott for the flick on, but couldn't get high enough. That's pushed back to midfield. Bonsu with the pass ahead, too far away. Abalaji with the Sounders sends it out midfield, but the Rhinos recover the ball. Sanfilippo chips it on the right side, but shanked it off the outside of his foot and into the stands. Throw in on the near side for the Sounders from their own 35. Abalaji with the throw in across midfield. And underneath it. Turning back for the ball as Levesque turns it to the outside. Gregor with a pass ahead. Chased down by Kraft in a foot race with Sutton. Comes out along the 18 and the Rhinos take it. Palguda will turn it off at the far wing. Somoza moving up. Down to the Rochester 35. Goes to the outside of the far wing. Kloss won't get to the ball. That's out of bounds on the far side of the field. Greg Kloss, a 22-year-old from Cherry Hill, Illinois. Throw in for the Rhinos. In their own end of the field, the left wing side, about 10 yards out. Kraft moving over for the throw in. Nate Kraft, 5'9", 160 pounds, a 29-year-old from Royal Oak, Michigan. Played for Michigan in the PDL. Throw in, cross midfield, flick toward midfield, and recovered by the Sounders. The defending champions in the league. Headed forward, in turn by Sanfilippo. Out to the midfield circle. And the ball skips through, pushed downfield by Delicott. But the Rhinos won't get to it, as it's too far ahead and all the way down to the keeper. Up with the ball is Mahoney. Throws it with the left hand over the far side. Ahead with it, Somoza. Cross midfield into Rhino territory. Up the right wing. Chips it off in the middle, and stepping in underneath it is Palguda. First times it out across midfield. Becky stepping in behind. Comes away with the ball. Trying to sneak it through to Delicott. And does. Oh, Delicott. It's whistled down on the offside. Delicott is stepping behind the defender when he took the ball. And offside against the Rhinos. Delicott was in. Offside, the first offside of the match against Rochester. And that was close. Sounders have the restart. From around their own 25, still no score. 26th minute from Seattle. With the right foot, serve downfield. To the Rochester 25, Burt's heads it in the middle, and then Kraft able to flick it out toward midfield, but it's played ahead, and here come the Sounders again. At the right side, Kloss, deep to the far corner, being chased there by Kraft to the end line. Has it deep in the corner, still with the ball. Trying to draw it back out top, now turns along the end line. Across in front, backdoor side, up in the air, comes out the near end of the 18. Chased down and kept in play by Abalaji. Has it at the near side, 25 yards out with the right foot, serves it down inside, and to the 6, and up in the air is Valdo to come down with the ball, and the Rhino keeper has it, throws it off on the far wing. Up the left wing side, brought ahead by Juninho. Through midfield into Seattle territory. Juninho turns from side to side, spinning, trying to get away, still has the ball. Now drops it to his own side of midfield, but Sutton steps in behind. Then he's run over by Burt's, and a foul is called. Burt's going for the ball, took down Sutton, who's still laying on the pitch. And slow getting up. So no score, 27th minute. Sutton now gets up to his hands and his knees. Little play acting there. But the foul is already called. I don't know if he figures he's going to get draw a yellow card or what he figures he's going to do. Maybe just resting. All right, free kick for Seattle. 40 yards out, a little bit to the right of center. Left-footed kicker. And here's the service. Down inside the 18, and the ball is knocked down. Popped up in the air, and shot it wide right out over the end line by the Sounders. Getting a foot on it was Scott, the defender. Zach Scott, but they put it off the outside of his foot wide to the right side. So a goal kick for the Rhinos. 27th minute, no scores. The Rhinos dodge a bullet there. Other sponsors of these broadcasts include Connolly Printing, the official printer for the Rhinos. Call 426-4150. By Harrow East Athletic Club, on the web at harroweast.com. And by Health Source Chiropractic, Dr. Donald Dudley, the official chiropractor for the Rochester Sports Group. Call 225-6430. Cross midfield, but the foul is called on the Rhinos. So it'll be a restart for the Sounders from their own 35. No score from Seattle. Keeper Mahoney moves out to around the 35. He'll take the kick. On the restart. With the right foot, hammers it through midfield. Down to the Rochester 20, headed away by Pelguda for Juninho, as he is checked immediately by Somoza, and a foul is called. So it'll be a restart for the Rhinos from around their own 35. Remember, there's still time to purchase a brick or a tile for the new Paytech Park. Be a part of history forever with your brick or tile displayed on Dedication Lane. For information, call 454-KICK. Kraft to take the kick. From his own 40, again off the left wing side. Moves the players downfield. Now with the left foot. Sends it through midfield, down to the 35, headed up in the air. In underneath it they go, and Bonsu nods it forward. Ball turns to the outside. Sanfilippo cross along the 18. Out the far end of the box, nobody there for Rochester. Taken by Somoza along the far wing with the right foot. He'll send it through midfield. And head it right back into Seattle territory. Up in the air they go. Becky trying to get in underneath it, but Somoza with a bicycle kick sends it off at the far wing. Out to midfield, stepping in underneath of Talguda, but off the outside of his left foot. Out of bounds, and a throw in at midfield for the Sounders. Throw in long up the right wing side, deep to the far corner. After it goes Levesque. Knocked away and out of bounds by Kraft. Throw in for the Sounders down around the Rochester. Caught it around the 6 on the far side of the field. And moving up for the throw in will be Ben Somoza. 26-year-old from Edmonds, Washington. Edmonds being a suburb of the Seattle area. Somoza backs all the way up to the wall. Having a bit of a run at it here. And here's the service. Loader down inside the box. Headed away now by Burt's all the way out to the 30. That's knotted aside by Gregor. Back to midfield for Scott as Minyonger's on him. Scott turns it back in the middle. Abalaji will chip it up the right side. After it they go in the far corner. Ball knocked down at the far end of the 18. And Kraft pops up in the air on the far side. Pelguda will first time it ahead to midfield. Headed in the air, coming down around the 35. And Bonsu underneath it. Up in the air, and the ball coming down to the midfield line. Back to Bonsu again. Up the right side, Sanfilippo in the center circle for Ball. Rhinos bringing forward. John Ball on the attack to the 35. Turns to the left side arm, moving off on the far side of the field. Still has it. Slows things up and waits for help to catch up. Off the right side, Bonsu looking for a pass through, but that's taken away and played off in the near wing out to near midfield. Sutton coming back on the ball for the Sounders. Watched there by Birch. Drops it off. Long delivery up the left wing side. Ahead into Rhino territory. Sturm being watched by Sanfilippo at the near end of the 18. Step over on the ball. Moves inside the 18. Taking it away is Sanfilippo. The ball pounded outside the 18. But again on the near wing in front. Headed away by Pelguda on that shot in front. That's blocked away and brought off on the near side by Menyunger. And the Rhinos have the ball. Into the center circle for Delicat. Trying to slip it by. However, a slide tackle. The ball knocked away and recovered by the Sounders. At midfield, Abalaji on the near side to the outside for Sturm. It's the 31st minute and no score here in Seattle at Quest Field. At the midfield line, Abalaji across midfield. Picked off his foot by Janino, sends it through. Becky is tackled and taken down by Scott. Becky was going to turn in behind. He would have been gone. He was tackled, taken down. That's going to draw the yellow card. As Zach Scott knew he had nothing better to do than just take down Becky or he was gone to the races. So Scott draws the yellow in the 32nd minute. First caution of the night going to the Sounders. So a free kick for the Rhinos. And this being 40 yards out off the right wing side. On the near side of the field. We had a beautiful evening here in Seattle. It's unfortunate the crowd is very sparse. Filled in across the way. I'd probably, being polite, maybe 600 or 700. Across the way, headed ball, flicked in front, and Becky in behind, turning around, bicycle kick, but the offside flag is in the air. So Delicott got the flick on, and Becky spun around, but when he spun around, he put himself offside, and the flag is in the air. Second offside of the match against the Rhinos. Still no score from Seattle, 32nd minute. With the right foot service from Mahoney. Sends it all the way down to the Rhino 35 and a flick out on the near side underneath it Sanfilippo. With the right foot will volley a high one through midfield. Becky trying to get to it. He and Jackson battling for the ball. Hit it back to the 18. Nodded down inside and Mahoney has to chase it down as it was almost put by him by his defender Zach Scott. So Mahoney with the throw will play it out on the near side for Abalaji. Turns around on the near wing and chips it through midfield. That's flicked forward, trying to turn it behind is Sutton getting the ball, and moving back, Pelguda runs him over as the ball rolls away and down inside the 18 to Vallow. So Pelguda got spun around, but he recovered very nicely and able to recover the ball. Vallow with the right foot pounds a high floater through midfield. Up in the air they go. Big ball bouncing down at the center circle and right away by the Sounders at the midfield line. Turning in is Levesque. Drops it off and played up the far wing. On the right side, race for it inside the 18 and taken away by Birch. Nice job. One-on-one with Sutton. But then Birch, his pass picked off by Kloss, and Kloss take it down to the far side of the field as the ball rolls out. Throw in for the Rhinos. Now, wait a minute. A foul is being called by the referee. Foul on the Rhinos, or a free kick for the Sounders, 30 yards out off the right wing. 34th minute from Seattle and no score. Service along the 18, headed away by Menyunger. Off in the far wing, underneath it, Becky heads it back, but that's picked up by Levesque, dropping it off. Turning toward the middle along the 18 is Kloss, spins back as Menyunger moving in, tips it, and the ball played away by Kraft. Off the left wing side, brought away by Janino. Watch there, being pushed by Kloss, and he's sent to the pitch across the way, and it'll be a throw-in. Almost identical situation to a couple of moments ago. The Sounders drew the foul, but the Rhinos get a throw-in. Well, no, the ref evidently changed. No, he did say a throw-in. He turned back. As the Rhinos were going to take a free kick, he did turn back and say, no, it's a throw-in. All right, there is the throw-in to Menyunger at the midfield line. Drives it through the circle. Switching to the right wing side for ball. Sanfilippo overlapping, but does not get a pass. Brought ahead by Bonsu. And on the near wing for ball again. Down to the Seattle 35. In the middle, Sanfilippo. He'll cross it along the 18. Bouncing down in front. Hit ball back in. One bounce grabbed by Mahoney at his 6. So the Sounder keeper with the ball. Drives it out through midfield. Comes out of the near wing. Levesque sliding in underneath it, but can't get to it. Out of bounds. Throw in for the Rhinos. 45 yards out on the near side of the field. Rhinos Kids Club has a whole new look this season. Members receive a free ticket to a game, lanyard and ID, badge, Rhinos folder, and a chance to spin the prize wheel to win prizes every game. To sign up for the Kids Club, call 454-KICK and ask for Shannon. Cross midfield, foul is called. Free kick for the Rhinos. in Seattle territory on the near side of the field. Still scoreless from Seattle. Sanfilippo will serve it up with the right foot. Here's the kick coming down around the 20, but not right in underneath it is Kloss for the Sounders. Able to volley it out to midfield, but the Rhinos take it right back. Juninho overlapping to the outside. Here's Kloss with a pass under front, moving in, big collision. Up in the air they go. Head ball knocked down off the line by Jackson. Leaves it there for the keeper, who comes back and picks it up on one hop. Nice job by Charles Becky getting up in the air. In fact, he, with a header, was higher than Mahoney with his hands, who was jumping in the air. Great job by Becky. But nothing comes of it as the ball then kicked by Mahoney through midfield. So the Rhinos had a big opportunity right there. Jackson blocked it off the chest, off the line. Well, from actually about 3 yards out. So the Rhinos have had their chances, unable to finish as of yet, as it's still scoreless here in the first half. Through midfield, then headed back to the midfield line. That's then routed away into the center circle. And Younger and Bonsu now turning it out on the near side. Push forward and catching up to the ball once again is Sanfilippo. On the right side, down to the 20. Rolls it to the outside for ball. Has it 10 yards out, turning it back. Up top, Sanfilippo crossing on the 10, but headed away out of the box on the near side. In underneath it is Levac. Sanfilippo grabbing onto him as the ball rolls out of bounds. It'll be a Rochester throw in at the midfield line. Sanfilippo, quick throw into Burtz. To the outside, Sanfilippo on the near wing. Goes across midfield, but the ball is out of bounds, so it'll be a throw in for the Sounders on the near side. Stepping up for the throw-in, Abalaji. 37th minute. Long throw-in up the left wing. Alguda heads it in the air. And out of bounds on the near side. A throw-in for the Sounders, this time from the Rochester 40. Throw in ahead. Levac turns it to the outside. Abalaji cross down along the 18. Juninho knocks it down. Big bouncing ball. Boots it high in the air. Coming down just inside the 18. Nodded away on top. Settled there. And Sakuda really couldn't come away with the ball. Trying to tee it up for the one time, but couldn't get turned around for the shot. Long play out the left wing side. And running onto the ball to keep it in is Becky. Off the left wing side. Across. Down in front. Rolls through the 6. Collision. Knocked down by Mahoney. He's on the ball and holds on. Well, they have Abalaji coming over to say a few words to Matt Delicott. Delicott going for the place of the ball. But collided with Mahoney, and Mahoney goes down, and he's still down. Referee says to the bench, no, he's all right. Stay there. All right, so Mahoney is up. 38th minute here in Seattle, no score. And the foul on Delicott. Free kick for Mahoney of the Sounders. With the right foot. Line drive kick through midfield. Up in the air they go. Headed back across the midfield line by Sanfilippo. On the near side, then volleyed into Rhino territory by Scott. And underneath it, Burtz ahead for Bonsu. Trying to roll it toward the middle, but knocked down. Bonsu gets it right back. On the near side, drawing it along the right wing and sends it through to the open right wing side. Delicott running onto the ball. Up the near wing, looking for the cross. Puts it off of Scott. And out of bounds. And a throw in on the near side for the Rhinos. Throwing to be taken by Matt Delicott. Scored his first goal as a Rhino last game. And we'll be talking with Delicott at halftime. Find out a little bit more about the young man from England originally. Matthew Delicott. That's coming up at the half. Throw in on the near side for Sanfilippo. Looks deep to the corner, but goes shorter than the throw in to Ben Younger. Turns it back to the outside. Sanfilippo in the middle for Bonsu. Ahead Ben Younger. And one-on-one with Sturm. Rolls it back in the middle for Bonsu. And then switch it to the left wing for Kraft. In underneath the ball. One-on-one with Kloss. Rolls a pass ahead for Becky. Drops it off Juninho, but he turned it to the wrong side and intercepted by Levac. Run away by the Sounders. Out to the midfield line. Into Rhino territory. Turned to the outside on the near wing. It's Sturm. Sends it along the open left wing side. Running onto the ball as sliding in is Becky, and the ball blocked away and out of bounds. Becky looking back at the ref and saying that the player, Sturm, took a dive. Well, Sturm is still down on the field. He's actually out of the field to play. As Becky coming in under the ball. Still he is down. No, that's not Sturm. That's Gregor. Gregor still down on the field. Ref standing there watching him as he rolls around, holding onto his right leg. But a foul is called, a free kick for the Sounders. That from around the Rochester 15 on the near side of the field. No, it is Sturm. That is Sturm. Gabriel Sturm. Up and walking around, trying to walk it off. 41st minute, no score here in Seattle. Rhinos have a two-man wall at the near end of the 18th. Get the ball placed about 15 yards out, just inside the near touchline. Kloss, right-footed kicker to serve it up. And here comes the service. Fence it down inside the 6 ball. Blocked away by Ballo and out over the end line. Wow, great save as the ball into the middle of the box. Headed in, it looked like by the defender, Scott, and Ballo got in the way of it. Big save right there by Scott Ballo. Base as the ball will be placed in the corner kick circle on the far side of the field. Corner kick off the right wing side. Here's the low kick in the box. Ballo up in the air, comes down with it at his 2. And the ball will be brought away by the Rhinos. Ballo waits for the players to move away. Now 42nd minute from Seattle and no score, thanks to Scott Ballo. With the right foot, high floater through midfield. Big bouncing ball, Somoza back underneath it for the Sounders. Turns it to the outside, chasing him is Becky. And Somoza with the right foot will shank it up into the stands on the far side of the field. Throw in for the Rhinos near the midfield line on the far side. Waiting for the ball is Kraft. Moving up, gaining yardage. Now he takes the throw in. Delicate nods it into the middle. Menyanga with the right foot takes a crack at it, but it's blocked out top. Comes out top. Bunsu with the left foot chips it in the air, but then went up in the air. Is cleared aside by Ball. And off on the far wing. Headed aside. In the middle, and Gregor in underneath it. And it's taken right back again by Bunsu. Looks around, rolls it to the outside of the near wing, and Sanfilippo in under the ball. Has it 40 yards out. Back in the center circle for Bunsu. He'll switch it to the left side, and running onto the ball goes Kraft. Runs it down to the 35, then drops it back. Zunino continues on up the left wing. Through a minute, pass ahead for Kraft, turning to the far end of the box. Rolls it to the end line with the left foot, looking for the cross, but off the leg of the defender and out over the end line. It'll be a corner kick for the Rhinos. Rochester corner, off the left wing side. After that kick, Kraft came up limping a little bit. Sure if he got twisted up a little bit or whether he's walking it off. So the corner kick, again off the left wing side, right-footed delivery from Zunino. An in-swinging kick. No score, 43rd minute here in Seattle. Kraft walking away, and the ref still talking to him to make sure he's all right before he signals the whistle to begin play. And here's the whistle, so Zunino set for the service. It's up in the box. Hit ball, but away and out. Brought away on the near side. Burt's one times it in front, but that's blocked away by the Sounders. And on the far side, Kraft in underneath it. Settles the ball to Zunino on the left wing. Down to the 25, a step over, but continues up the left wing side to the end line. Looking for the cross, tripped up, getting the foot on him, knocking him down to Somoza. The play goes on, no foul is called. And is brought away upfield by the Sounders. Stepping into the center circle. Levesque turns it ahead on the right side. Brought forward by Sakuda. His feet to the outside, but back for tracking it down is Bonsu on the near wing. And he'll just drive it up into the stands to get out of trouble. Throw in on the near side for the Sounders. From the Rochester 45 on the near side, Abalaji moving up for the throw in. Goes back out into the center circle for Jackson. Missed the entire season last year, did Jackson, with a leg injury, but back in this year. Tips it down to the far end of the 18, rolling to the corner. Levesque spinning around, trying to get away from Kraft. Rolls it out along the 8 feet in front. Tipped away at the last moment by Bonsu. Saves the day. His feet ahead near midfield. Delicate turns it to the outside for Zunino. At the 35, and long service downfield. Jackson back, heads it away to the outside. And chasing after the ball, Somoza. Now he puts it up to about 20 yards into the 20 rows of seats up into the stands. So it'll be a throw-in on the far side of the field for the Rhinos from around the Seattle 35. 45th minute here in Seattle, and still no score. Zunino leaves it there, and Kraft moving up for the throw-in. Looks it over, goes short to Menyanga. Spins around, rolls it toward the middle for Bonsu. He'll then turn it to the outside of the near wing. Sanfilippo giving it off the ball. Looks over the field, still has it, double team now, and chips it up the right side, but stepping in to knock it away is Abalaji. On the attack come the Sounders through midfield. Sturm turns it to the outside of the near wing once again for Abalaji. On the midfield line, Sakuda into Rhino territory as the clock now stopped at 45. Edge brought in the middle, 1 minute of additional time. In the center circle, that's pulled away by the Rhinos. On the attack, Janino to the 35, turns it to the outside, but double teamed it. Somoza knocks it away. Kloss on the far side, off the leg of Kraft and out of bounds. Throw in across the way for the Sounders. Seattle with the ball on the throw in, nearing midfield. Long throw in. And that one floating through. However, getting it to Levac and still controlled by the Sounders up the right side. Kloss down to the Rochester 20, across along the 6 on the near side. Floats through everybody at the near end of the 18. Sturm turning back in the middle as Ball comes back to help out and takes the ball away. Moving off of the near corner as he's tripped up, goes down, gets back up, ball rolled out over the end line. Off of John Ball as he was grabbed onto, very upset that no foul was called, and a corner kick is the indication for Seattle. Sounders will have a corner, third of the match. Corner kick off the right wing side. To be taken by Craig Kloss. Right-footed kick, in-swinging kick. And here's the service. In the box, bending and punched away by Vallo out to the 18. Bicycle kick by Juninho sends it out near midfield. The whistle blows, and that's going to be it for the first half of play. Nice bicycle kick by Juninho. So, scoreless, nothing decided yet from Seattle. As we've played a half and there is no score. And the players talking things over as they move away. Juninho and John Ball having a few words, and teammates step in between them, so not sure that they are too happy with each other at the moment. All right, we've completed play in the first half here in Seattle at Quest Field, and after one half of play, it's the Raging Rhinos, nothing, and the Seattle Sounders, nothing. And this is the Rhinos Broadcast Network. Westfield in Seattle as the Rhinos and Sounders about to get underway in the second half of play. Looks like a couple of substitutions for the Rhinos. I see Aaron Lyons is out there. Greg Howes is also there. And the players that I think are missing are Juninho and John Ball. They were the ones who were having discussions as they left the field at the end of the first half, so interesting there. And anyway, starting the half, Lyons is in. He's the left midfielder, and central midfielder Greg Howes, who were underway. Howes, of course, originally from Tacoma, which is just to the south of Seattle, and he started his professional career right here in Seattle, so he returned home tonight for Greg Howes. We're underway in the second half of play. No score between the Rhinos and Sounders. Palguda has it at his own 20. The Rhinos shooting the net to our left, and Vallo in goal down to our right. Cross midfield flick on by Delicott ahead for Becky. 35 yards out, shoots it to the outside for Munyonger. Drawing it down to the 20, the far corner of the box. Looking for the open space. Chips it along in front, but headed away and out of the box. That's knocked down, moving in, blocked toward the end line by Howes. Off of the end line, and out of play, and a goal kick for the Sounders. Greg Howes just coming in, of course, from indoor soccer. Another year with Milwaukee in the MISL. And an excellent year of indoor. So a goal kick for the Sounders. The official stats in the first half of play had the Rhinos with 6 shots, the Sounders with 2. That, again, was the official stats. Cross midfield, blocked aside by the referee, but play continues as it's brought forward into Rhino territory. Sutton working toward the middle. That's blocked away, and the ball taken back by Palguda. He'll chip it out to midfield for Becky. Turns and drops it off at the far wing, but taken there by Greger, and the Sounders have it. Pass ahead, stepping in to knock it away in turn was Birch, and the Rhinos take it back, but it's blocked away and out of bounds on the far side. A throw in for the Sounders on the far side of the field. Seattle shooting that to our right. As the ball now flighted in play, headed aside by Palguda up into the stands again on the far side of the field. Another throw in for the Sounders, this time from about 35 yards out on the far side. Moving away all the way across the field for the throw in is the defender Somoza. That's rather Somoza, Ben Somoza. 47th minute, no score. And here comes the throw in. High fly ball, and coming down inside the 18, headed away and out the far end of the box as it'll roll out of bounds. Somoza will take another throw in. He can get a lofty throw in very high. Came down to the middle of the 18. Here's another one, this time a low line drive one in front, but that's headed away by Sanfilippo. Out toward midfield, flicked on, and on the far side off of Abadaji and out of bounds. Cross midfield, quick restart for the Rhinos. Becky taken down, play goes on, it's brought away by the Rhinos. Moving down is brought forward, being pushed around. Sanfilippo diving in the ball as Mahoney to come up with the ball and holds on. But Sanfilippo leading the charge for the Rhinos from his defensive back position. Moving up on the play with the right foot. Mahoney fights it through midfield, down to the Rhino 35, and that's flicked on. Down to the Rochester 18, stepping in. Birch chasing it down inside the box, the near end. Watched by Levesque, and spins it with the left foot off on the near side. It skips out of bounds. Throw in on the near side for the Sounders from the Rochester 40. On the right wing side, that's the near side of the field. As the whistle is blown, I see somebody for the Rochester Rhinos. Kraft has lost his shoe, gets it back on, and now we're set to go again. Here's the throw in on the near side. Pelguda in underneath it. Heads it forward. Lines drops it back, and Kraft will first time it out to midfield for Becky. Off the chest, settles over Delicate, but the play is whistled down over and back across the midfield line. So a restart for the Sounders. To be taken by Sakuda. Yeah, they wanted to restart, but the ref rolled the ball back across the midfield line. They got a little bit too much real estate on the restart. Out the near side. It's Somoza one-on-one with Becky. Turns and drops it back. On the near wing, moving in Bonsu, but the ball played off on the near side. Knocked down by Kraft, but pushed to the corner after it goes Kloss for the Sounders. Deep in the right wing corner. Serves it along the 6. Punched away by Vallow outside the 18. Stepping in underneath it, Abalaji, but can't get a shot away. Comes out to the center. Circle blocked away by Sakuda. Still the Sounders have the ball. Jackson, long on the left wing side. Down to the 18. Settled by Sutton. Pushing it into the middle. Cracking the ball, but that's way wide. Right of the net, not over the end line. And the shot taken by Sturm. Put it way wide. So goal kick for the Rhinos. Still scoreless here in Seattle. 50th minute. Between the Rhinos and the Sounders. So John Ball, the team's leading scorer, out at the half. And Janino also out at the half. Has the ball placed to the 6 with the right foot. Vallow then will send it out through midfield. Up goes Delicate. Flick on forward, but that's headed back toward the center circle. Delicate again, another head ball. Howe's trying to sneak it through. Blocked up in the air, comes out of the near wing. In underneath it goes Lines. Turns around to the left wing side, dropping it back. There's picked up by Kraft. Pass along the midfield line. Bonsu to his own side of midfield for Pelguda. Turns back with the ball, nowhere to go, so he plays it all the way back to the keeper. And Vallow stepping out first time, it out to midfield. Off the left wing comes Lines, lays it out on the left wing side. Brought ahead by Pelguda as he rolls it forward on a give and go opportunity, but the play is whistled down and a restart for the Rhinos. In the middle, through the center circle, brought across the midfield line by Sanfilippo. Pass in the middle for Bonsu. Rolls it out on the near side to Howes as he turns and looks around. Greg Howes, right foot down inside, going for the back post, but and when bending in toward the post is grabbed by the keeper Mahoney. Oh, a nice shot opportunity by Howes. As the Rhinos have another shot. Ball flighted in the air, downfield. Up in the air they go. That's knotted back across the midfield line, and the play is whistled down. So I'll have a restart coming up. No score, 52nd minute in Seattle. Rhinos have the restart from around their own 35. Greg Howes in the lineup tonight. Last year, 19 games, had 5 goals and an assist. Player of the week in the league one time and team of the week another. Right foot hammered downfield by Pelguda. Flicked on by Delicate down inside the 18 as they pounded the ball. It's then shot high in the air out to midfield. Stepping in Sanfilippo. Bonsu flicks it forward from Younger. Turns to the outside of the right wing. Looks back toward the middle. Slips into the far end of the box. Overlapping. Sanfilippo crosses the 6. Blocked in the air out over the end line. And it'll be a corner kick for the Rhinos. So nice build up by Rochester. Couldn't finish, however. Corner kick for the Rhinos. This off the right wing side. And moving up for the corner kick is Kraft, it looks like. Left-footed kicker. This off the far corner. Goes short on the delivery. Menyonga dropping it back out top. Now service in along the end line, but as Menyonga then was put offside. So the offside flag in the air, and the free kick for the Sounders. Brought away upfield. Still no score in the match. 53rd minute from Seattle. Right back in the middle. There it's taken and pushed forward. Out of the near wing. Dropped back through the middle and off on the near wing. And underneath it goes Somoza with the right foot. Sends it out through midfield. Palguda in turn hands it back toward midfield. Tipped across midfield by Kraft. As the ball volleyed toward the middle and recovered along their own 35 by the Sounders. Turning back in the middle to the outside of the near wing. Somoza up the right wing across midfield for Levac. Looking to sneak the ball through, slots it ahead, but Kraft gets to it and knocks it away from Palguda. The Rhinos have it. Head for Howes, dropping it back to his own 20. Taken by Palguda. Looks downfield with the right foot, chips it off of the near wing. That's blocked forward across the midfield line. Lines in underneath it. Drawing it forward, down to the 35, the 25. Just a little bit to the left center, pushes the outside for Menyonga. Crosses along to the back post side, and then one skips through the 6-yard box, out over the end line. And a goal kick opportunity for the Sounders of the Rhinos. Another nice build-up, but no finishing touch on the ball. 54th minute and no score from Seattle. Rhinos traveling down the road to Portland tomorrow to meet the Portland Timbers on Friday night. And our broadcast beginning again at 9:30 on Rochester on Friday night, Rochester time. Long ball flighted through midfield, headed back to the Seattle side of midfield. That's to my left in the second half. Headed up in the air at the midfield line. Nodded forward. And Delicott in underneath it. Settles it for Menyonga. Pushed up the right side. Blocked ahead. And here come the Rhinos. Sanfilippo on the right side. To the outside. Long high cross through the 6. Comes out the near side. At the end line. In underneath it. Lines. But it rolls out over the end line. And another goal kick for the Sounders. Sponsors of these broadcasts include Huma, the official uniform supplier to the Rhinos. Available at Eurotech at the Rochester Sports Garden. By FoodLink, abundance shared, and by Farish Group. Relax and enjoy stress-free living in your Farish apartment. See them all at farish.com. Goal kick. Mahoney, line drive kick through midfield, headed in the air, coming down to the Rochester 35. Birch heads it away. Sanfilippo heads it back inside of his 18, and picked up on one big bounce by Scott Vallow. Throws it ahead on the right side. Half volley kick through midfield. And up in the air goes Lines, but he's rolled over. However, continuing on is Greg Howes, pushing it forward. It's Becky crossing to the outside of the right wing. In underneath it, far into the 18. Menyonga, but off his foot, rolls away too far ahead, and is grabbed by Mahoney and holds on. Throws it out of the far side. Ahead toward midfield. Greger through midfield, but stepping in turn take it away as Birch and the Rhinos recover the ball. Birch from his own 35, plays it ahead. Bonsu's pass, deflected away on the far wing and out. And it's picked up again by Birch. The Rhinos have it as he's challenged. Able to pass along across midfield on the far side, but that went off of the foot of the Sounders and out. Throw in for the Rhinos. Menyonga, throw in. Howes right back to Menyonga on the outside. Drawing it along the 35 in the middle. His pass off to Howes, looking to slot it through to Delicott, but the ball is knocked away. In turn by the Sounders. Seattle recovering the ball. It looks like the Rhinos are applying a little more pressure right now. However, spin around by Menyonga and the ball taken away. Sounders bring it downfield. Long service downfield over everybody. 2-3 bounces inside the 18 was grabbed by Vallow, and the Rhino keeper has the ball. Throws it off in the far wing for Sanfilippo. Moves up the right side across midfield. Checking back on the ball. Howes with the pass forward across the midfield line. Menyonga turns it to the outside of the near wing for Lines. Drawing it up the left wing side. Down to the 35, overlapping. It's Kraft, and the pass to Kraft on the near end of the 18. Turns back along the 20 toward the middle, but can't go anywhere. Out top, Bonsu. Menyonga plays it back toward midfield. And Sanfilippo steps up on the right side. Into the center circle, gives it off to Palguda with the left foot. To the outside on the near wing for Kraft. Drawing it forward. Down inside the 18. Becky flicks it off on the far side. Knocked down. Becky again with the ball. Up in the air. Delicott hit ball toward the net. Out is Mahoney to knock it away. Here's Delicott's shot. Oh, he missed the crossbar. Puts it over on top of the crossbar. Mahoney came out for the ball. Delicott got the shot away. Went high and a little too high. Missed it by a foot. So that's the best opportunity of the night for the Rhinos. Delicott dropping to his knees, looking at the skies in disbelief. And a Seattle player down on the pitch. Jackson looks like he's hurt, but up on his knees, so the Rhinos just barely missing. Well, certainly applying a lot more pressure here in the second half of play. And I would say there's a couple of winded Rochester players also. Kraft down on one knee out at the midfield line seems to be quite winded. and having a few words with the referee, and I think they're calling for a substitution. Nate Kraft. And he played a lot here tonight. Ran a few miles, so he's coming out. 58th minute now, so it looks like Jonathan Perry will be checking in. So again, 58th minute, Kraft is out, and Perry is in. That's the third sub of the night for the Rhinos. All right, goal kick for the Sounders. I have it unofficially in the second half. The Rhinos out shooting Seattle 4-1. Ball flighted through midfield. And up in the air they go. Flick forward, but stepping in is Perry to head it through midfield. And Becky, one touch to the outside of the far wing from Younger. Except Abalaji blocks him and the ball rolls out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in on the far side of the field for the Sounders from their own 35. No score, 59th minute here at Quest Field in Seattle. Actually, a foul was called, so it's going to be a restart. Free kick for Seattle. Abalaji with the kick, sends it downfield in the far wing. Greger with a head ball, sends it to the corner, but that rolls out over the end line. It'll be a goal kick now for the Rhinos. Other sponsors of these broadcasts include the Distillery, food, drink, sport, and fun. Your neighborhood gathering place. By Auto Depot and Auction Direct. For your next car, log on to auctiondirect.com. And by Clarion Riverside Hotel, across from the street from the Rochester Convention Center. Here's the kick by Vallow, flights it through midfield. Delicott flicks it in the air, and in underneath it goes Lines. As he gets spun around, the ball recovered by Howes. Rhinos still have it. Howes sneaks it through to Delicott, but that's booted away from him. Out to the center circle, Bonsu in underneath it. Going to the outside, Abalaji knocks it away for the Sounders, and Seattle with the ball, slotting it through into Rhino territory. Sutton up the left side, and rolling in, it's Sanfilippo, but the ball is still controlled. Now clicked off on the far side by the Sounders and rolls out of bounds. Throw in for the Rhinos from their own 18 on the far side of the field. No score here in Seattle. Now the 60th minute. Between the Rhinos and Sounders, they'll meet one more time, and that'll be in Rochester on July the 28th. Throw in for the Rhinos. Burtz long and across midfield. Man, he's got some power on the throw in ahead to Becky. Bringing it up the right side. They'll roll it into the middle. Checking back on the ball is Line, spinning around, lays it off in the middle from Younger. His pass, but that's deflected behind Howes. And now back to Bonsu and on the near side. Up with it. Here's Palguda. Down inside, far into the 18. Becky heads it back in the middle, but that's booted away and out top by Scott on the far side. In underneath it, Sanfilippo, head from Younger. As he is taken down on a slide tackle. Play goes on. The ball pops up in the air, comes out along the 25 and in the middle, brought away by the Sounders. Seattle player goes flying head over tea kettle and whistle to stop play. Foul is called. Seattle wanting the yellow card, but they're not going to get it. So a free kick for the Sounders, 35 yards out in the middle of their own end of the field. 61st minute, no score. Ball placed by Jackson. Throws it ahead about 5 yards. Delicott watching close. Danny Jackson, 26-year-old from Leeds, England. Watched by Delicott, who's from Kent, England. Long delivery downfield inside the Rhino 18, headed up in the air. And they go up again on the ball and then push to the outside of the box on the far side. Sanfilippo with the right foot, able to pass out to midfield, sneaks through the center circle, lines in underneath it, but scooted by his left foot. Kicked the other way in the Rhino territory, headed away by Perry in the middle. As they step in on the ball, that's picked up again by the Sounders. Tipped to the outside of the far wing for Abalaji. Moves it ahead in the middle for Sturm. 25 yards out. Rolls it, trying to slot it in front. Sutton knocks it down. Comes up with the ball. At the 6, got spun around. Never got the shot away. He ended up all alone as the Rhinos defenders turned the wrong way. And he never got the shot away. Got tangled up with the ball on his feet. And the Rhinos dodge a huge bullet right there. Cleared away out of bounds on the far side. A throw in for the Rhinos from their own 25 on the far side of the field. Trying to be taken by Frankie Sanfilippo. He'll send it out through midfield into the chest of Becky at the midfield line. Pops it up in the air, comes across, and Seattle chasing it down to their own end. Headed toward the midfield line. Settled there by Greger on the far wing to Abalaji, and then he's checked and going down as Howes, and a foul is called on the Rhinos. So the Sounders have a restart from their own side of midfield. On the near wing, brought off on the near side, and then chipped through midfield into Rhino territory. Up goes Perry, but the ball then booted away. Back toward midfield, headed for by Kloss. And it's taken by Levac. Turns off in the middle. He'll then send it all the way back to the midfield line for Abalashi on the far side of the field. Through the center circle for Sakuda. His own side of midfield. Jackson on the near wing for Somoza. And the Sounders still on the attack. Snaking the ball through to Levac at the 20. Near into the box. Return pass, but Pelguda steps in to knock it away. To the end line. Pelguda sends it off on the near side and out of bounds. Throw in deep in the corner, about 2 yards out on the near side of the field. And a substitution coming up for the Sounders. Seattle will make a substitution here in the 63rd minute. Who's going to check off? Who's coming on? In 63rd minute, or will they take the throw in advance? No, it'll be Sutton off. Again, this in the 63rd minute. Call it the 64th minute now. So Sutton is off. And it looks like maybe Tomlinson. Well, as soon as he turns his back, then I'll know who it is. Here's the throw-in off on the near side. Pushed to the outside again for Somoza. Looking for the cross, rolls it on top for Kloss, 20 yards out with the right foot, sends it down in front, head ball up in the air, and it's over the crossbar, and an offside flag was in the air anyway. Offside on the near side of the field against the Sounders. So it'll be a goal kick for the Rhinos. Still looking at the Seattle player who came onto the pitch. And yes, it is number 9. That is Tomlinson coming in the 64th minute. That's the first sub of the night for the Sounders. Dallow's goal kick, fights it through midfield. Up in the air they go, headed aside, but a foul is called on the Sounders, so the Rhinos have a free kick from 35 yards out and a little bit to the right of center. Quick restart for the Rhinos, brought ahead. Menyonger slots it through. Becky moving inside. Double team to the ball, taken away, pushed to the outside. Diving in and out, it is Mahoney to grab the ball and hold on. Still scoreless here in Seattle, 65th minute. Mahoney gave up 4 goals in the first match of the season, but he's been very strong here tonight. Flights this one downfield into Rhino territory. Sanfilippo in underneath it. Half-volley kick through midfield and recovered again by the Sounders. Brought into Rhino territory. Long up the left side. Rolls to the corner. After Tomlinson at the far end of the 18. Moving in. Perry puts it off of Tomlinson. Out over the end line and a goal kick for the Rhinos. Other sponsors of these broadcasts tonight include Nextel. Helping groups get things done. Call 800-NEXTEL-9. Best Volvo, Rochester's exclusive Volvo dealer at 1500 University Avenue. Also by the World Gym, the official strength training facility of the Rochester Sports Group at 1717 East Avenue. Right-footed kick by Scott Dallow. Delivers downfield through midfield. That's knocked down to the midfield line and then pushed into Rhino territory again. Perry gets to it. Blocks it, however. Blocked it with a hand. Handball. Free kick for the Sounders, 35 yards out in the middle of the field. Restart for Seattle. Ball placed in the middle of the field. Tomlinson coming on just a few moments ago for the Sounders. 7th year with Seattle. Did not play all last year because of an ACL injury. Was once called the fastest player in North America at all levels. Long chip down inside the box. One bounce to the 6th and out to grab it is Vallow. Rolls it off of the near side, and Greg Howes working up the left wing. Brings it out to near midfield. Catching up to the ball to the midfield line. His feet along the line for Delicott. Return pass to Howes up the left wing on a give and go. Down to the 18. Turns toward the middle with the right foot. As he looks around, overlapping his lines, but Howes spins. Delivers to the back post. Becky heads it in front. And then went booted away by Jackson. Out over the end line. It's not quite to the end line. It's to the corner on the far side of the field. Spinning around and bringing it away is Sakuda. Pass on the left wing side. Away come the Sounders. But it's taken away by Bonsu. The Rhinos have it right back. On the right wing, return pass. Sanfilippo to the outside. Rolls it toward the middle for Menyonger. 20 yards out. Drops it off out top. But turning back is Howes. Then plays it out of the near wing for Pelguda. Off the left wing side to Lines. On the left wing, return pass to Pelguda. Has it down around the 20. Then turns back out to the 25. And a pass in the middle. Howes dummies it through to Bonsu. Roll in the middle and turns it to the outside again on the near wing for Pelguda. With the left foot, chips it down inside. Backside, headed ball toward the middle by Becky, but that's knocked down. Comes out top. In underneath it they go. Menyonger trying to knock it down and helping out his lines. Turns to his left, sneaks the ball through at the 18. Bouncing it inside and then unable to get to it is Delicott as the ball is played out to midfield. Again, the Rhinos pressuring, but not getting a finishing shot away. Back to the midfield circle. Bonsu turning into the outside on the right wing for Sanfilippo. Serves it through the 18. This headed back in the middle. In underneath. Delicate heads it down, but the ball played away by the Sounders up top. Bonsu on the near wing. Falguda up the left side. Serves it along the 18 in front. It's knocked away up top. Bonsu in underneath of the 35. Drops it back to the midfield line. Birds has it there. His pass blocked away by Levesque and out of bounds on the far side of the field. Throw in for the Rhinos on the far side. Substitution coming up. As it looks like maybe Adosian coming in. Donnelly Adosian coming into the match. And we'll see who's checking out. Looks like maybe it's Becky, who's really played an excellent game. Charles Becky coming out here in the 68th minute. Becky working very hard tonight. All right, 68th minute is the substitution. Call it 69th minute. And Adosian is in. That's 4 subs in the game for the Rhinos. All right, throw it at midfield. Sanfilippo long up the right wing side, headed away and out of bounds. Another throw in for the Rhinos on the far side. This time from 40 yards out. Rhinos moving in for the throw in. No score in the game. Still the 69th minute. Well, they're taking their time getting going here on the restart. Now across the way, here's the throw-in. Line drive down inside to the 6. Booted away on the far side and up into the stand. So another throw-in for the Rhinos. This time from 15 yards out of the far side of the field. And it looks like it'll be once again Kenny Burt's. Rhinos' first game scored in the 7th minute. Second game scored in the 68th minute. Was the first goal of the game. We've just passed that. Down to the 69th minute. Third game was the 15th minute. Tonight, in Game 4, the Rhinos have not scored as of yet. Pushing and shoving going on. The ref comes over, has some words with the combatants and the right around the 6. And again, we'll have the throw-in for Burt's on the right wing side. Here's the throw-in. It comes down to the middle of the 6. Up in the air they go. Right-footed kick. Knocked down to the 10. Moving in. Rolling. They score! Delicate up with the ball. 10 yards out. Puts it inside the left post. And the Rhinos score first. Matthew Delicate puts it away. A roller. Inside the left post. And the Rhinos draw first blood. Scoring here in the 70th minute was Matt Delicate, his second goal in 2 games. Rochester in the 70th. So Delicate gets the goal, his second of the season. So the Rhinos are leading 1-0, and we're now into the 71st minute. Trying to hear the PA. And they don't announce an assist. So Delicate gets the goal. No assist was announced. And Adosian in underneath it. As he goes down, gets back up, is pushed, and the ball rolls out of bounds. Throw in across the way for the Sounders. Rochester leading 1-0. 71st minute from Seattle. Another substitution coming up for the Sounders. Sturm is checking out. 71st minute. And Weaver is in. He has the only goal so far this season for Seattle. Again, this is the 71st minute. Weaver is in. And Sturm is out. That's just the second sub of the night for the Sounders. Through midfield. Levesque taken down. Foul is called. And a restart for the Sounders across the way. Rhinos drawing the foul. And here comes the restart for the Sounders. Pass through midfield off on the near side. In underneath it, Somoza being watched there by Lines. Somoza drops it back at the midfield line. Taken by Jackson Long on the left wing side. Down inside the 18. It bounces through. And outside the far end of the box. Gets away from Tomlinson. Over the end line. A goal kick for the Rhinos. So a goal kick for Scott Vallow. Again, don't miss history coming up on June the 3rd. The inaugural match. Saturday, June the 3rd against the Virginia Beach Mariners at Paytech Park. Everyone will receive thundersticks. Stick around after the game for post-game fireworks. A whole lot more of the show on opening night, June the 3rd, and tickets are now on sale. Vallow with the right foot. Hammers it out through midfield. Delicate up, flick on, ahead But that one knocked away by the Sounders off in the far wing. Somoza drawing it across midfield. Feeds it to the outside. Unable to get to it. Gregor, it's out of bounds. Well, evidently it was off of the Rhinos and out. Throw in for the Sounders, far side of the field. High delivery down inside. Knocked down to the 6. Rolling wide and out over the end line. That off the foot of Tomlinson and out. So another opportunity for the Sounders, but goes wide, and Rhinos will have a goal kick. Scott Battle placing the ball at his 73rd minute. And Rochester leading by a very slim 1-0 margin. Battle with the right foot. He'll deliver out through midfield. Center circle, a flick on by Delicott. In underneath the Dodosian, heads it to the outside, chased after, but Somoza gets there first for the Sounders. Then Younger on him as they bump and the ball rolls out of bounds, and a foul is called on Somoza. Then he kicks the ball and hits Ben Younger in the leg. A little bit upset, talking to the referee. I don't know why he's upset. He's the one who was doing the pushing and shoving of Ben Younger. Free kick for the Rhinos, 35 yards out off the right wing side. Lines moving over for the re-kick. Free start. Aaron Lines with the left foot. Serves it up, down around the 6. Hit it in the air. Right back to the keeper. Wow, that's a dangerous play. Hitting it back to your keeper on the fly. High service downfield, but Palguda gets back to nod it away to midfield. Ben Younger in under the ball. Turns it out to the outside for Sanfilippo with the left foot. Chips it in the air and across the midfield line. Line chasing it down. Drops it back. Ben Younger has it. Into the center circle for Bonsu. Pass in, but deflected away. Tomlinson has it for the Sounders. Knocks it down. Bonsu comes back and takes it right back. Pushing into the outside. Howes on the near side. Palguda moving up near midfield. To the outside for Dodosian. He sneaks the ball through to Greg Howes along. Make that Lines on the left wing side. Drops it off. Howes. One touch ahead for Dodosian. At the 18. Moving in with the right foot. Takes a shot and is blocked away and out top. Off of Gregor in the air. The 35. Ben Younger turns to steal it away. Then he's tripped up and taken down. Foul is called. And a free kick for the Rhinos. 25 yards out. Just a hair to the right of center. And a yellow card is issued to Gregor. Gregor gets the yellow. The caution is issued in the 75th minute. So I'm not sure. I don't think the foul was called for the tackle. I think it was called because he had something additional to say to the referee. Didn't look like there was any plastic coming out from the ref until Gregor said something to him, and then the card came out. So a free kick for the Rhinos. Again, it's 28 yards out, and just a little bit to the right of center. 1-0 lead for the Rhinos, 76th minute. Who's going to take the kick? Looks like Howes with the right foot. A bullet, but right into the wall. Comes back to Ben Younger. Turns to his left. Rolls it back to the center circle. Taken by Palguda. He'll draw it forward now. Chips it down to the 18, but headed away and out by the Sounders. Lavec off in the far wing. Brought upfield by the Sounders. Sneaking away on the left wing side and into Rhino territory. It's pushed off on the far side. A pass to the middle. Sliding in to knock it away. Bonsu, where it's picked up by Burtson with the right foot. He'll then send it through midfield, but in underneath it is Scott. For the Sounders, near side, Palguda heads it away. Adosian knocks it down, and Lines for the Rhinos has the ball. Up the left side, across midfield, Palguda. Into Seattle territory. Sneaks it through. However, taken right back by the Sounders. Sakuda, pass out of midfield. At the midfield line, drawn off on the near side. The Sounders with the ball. In the middle, it's one touch and drop back again by Sakuda to the defender, Scott. And in the middle, Jackson will play it to the outside for Abalaji. On the far wing ahead for Somoza. As he gets tangled up there, watched by Sanfilippo. Spinning around, helping out his Ben Younger. The ball knocked away and out of bounds. And this will be a throw-in for the Rhinos across midfield in Seattle territory. Rochester playing again on Friday night in Portland against the Timbers, Friday night. Broadcast beginning along our network here at 9:30 Rochester time. Across out of the right wing corner, but bends it out over the end line. It'll be a goal kick for the Sounders. Individual game tickets for the 2006 season are now on sale. You can get tickets at Paytech Park box office, Ticketmaster.com, or call 232-1900. All across midfield into Rhino territory. That's pushed away and out across the midfield line, but recovered by the Sounders. On the near wing, working toward the middle is Kloss. Drops it back in the center circle. And a long chip up the left wing by Jackson. To the outside of the far wing for Somoza. At the Rochester 35, cross in the middle. That one sneaking through, 20 yards out. Here's Sakuda, takes a shot in. Bello knocks it down at the line and comes up with the ball as he dives in on it at the 2-yard line. Vallo with the ball, 78th minute, and a 1-0 lead for the Rhinos. Vallo with a half volley kick, long, flights it downfield, all the way to the 20, flicked down inside the 18, and picked up on 2 hops by Mahoney. As the keeper has the ball for Seattle. Lights it through midfield, but Palguda's there for the Rhinos. Heads it back to the midfield line. Nodded into Rhino territory. Moving into the ball goes Palguda. At the whistle to stop play, there is a player down on the pitch in the center circle, and that being a Rhino player who is not getting up at the moment, trying to see who that might be, but certainly I think it's just somebody got a little winded. Looks like the Rhinos might have to make a substitution. They have made 4 already on the night. So if another substitution is made, it would be the last of the night. Dave DiPasquale coming out to check out who it is. It might be Bonsu. Looks like it might be Tinwa Bonsu down on the pitch. I don't see him walking around anywhere. He has played a very hard game here again tonight. Laying down on his back in the center circle. 79th minute from Seattle. And a 1-0 lead for the Rhinos. Of course, the Rhinos will take as much time as they possibly can here. Looks like it might be Ricky Lewis getting ready to come into the match. The defender for the Rhinos is up and heading to the table to hand his piece of paper to the 4th official. So Bonsu now setting up. I think he's just run out of gas here. He's played a very strong game as usual. All right, it'll be Lewis coming in, and yes, it is Bonsu out. This in the 80th minute. Substitution, 80th minute, so that's the 5th and last substitution of the match. Lewis is in. And, of course, Lewis a defender. Bonsu had been playing in the midfield, and who's moving up into the midfield position? At the moment, looks like Lewis has moved to the right back position, and Sanfilippo moving up into the midfield. Ball kicked away and out of bounds, so we'll have the restart on the throw-in for the Rhinos from their own end of the field. All right, 80th minute. Rhinos trying to hold on with his very slim 1-0 lead, and the goal scored in the 70th minute by Matt Delicate. High throw in by Sanfilippo through midfield. That's knocked down but out of bounds. Throw in again near midfield for the Rhinos. Sanfilippo moving up. Will take the throw in once again. Looks downfield, goes long. That's a Dozian, but couldn't get a head ball on it. And the ball again headed away and out of bounds. Another throw in for the Rhinos on the near side. So Rochester gaining ground on the throw-ins. Alguda looking short. Now goes long up the left wing side. That's into the feet of Adosian, spins away, rolls away and out. And that again off the Sounders. So it'll be another throw-in for the Rhinos, this time from about 15 yards out of the near side of the field. Lines will take the throw-in. Looks toward the end line. Minyonga making a run, but no run. It didn't work. Lines will leave it there. Moving up is Perry to take the throw-in. Rhinos now doing everything they can to waste time, allowing the clock to run down as much as possible. Perry with a long throw-in down inside the 18, but headed away out top. To the 35, that's headed in the air and then booted away by the Sounders. Out the left wing side, cross midfield, slotting the ball through to Tomlinson. Off the head on the far wing as they get tied up, the ball rolls out. Right off of the Rhinos. So it'll be a throw-in on the far side of the field for the Sounders. And the ref wants play to stop for a moment. He wants to talk to the Rochester player. He's having a few words from Enyonger. All right, it's a foul it is called, so it'll be a free kick for the Sounders, 25 yards out off the left wing side. Right-footed kicker, an in-swinging kick coming. Again off the far side of the field. Players jockeying for position just inside the 18. Rolled out top, stepping in underneath it. Here's Greg House to boot it all the way downfield. One bounce, two bounces to the keeper. Mahoney's all the way out to the center circle. Mahoney with the right foot drives it up the left wing side. Lewis back, lets it go. One bounce inside the 18, taken by Vallo. 83rd minute from Seattle, and a 1-0 Rochester lead. Now with the right foot. Half volley kick sends it through midfield. Pushed out on the far wing. Flicked ahead. On the far side, Adosian off his chest. Minyonga rolls it along the 18 in front. Here's a ball trying to sneak it through his lines, but that's knocked away on top and carried away by the Sounders. Off in the far wing, chipped out to midfield. Bonlinson checking back, but it bounces over and in turn. Played away by Sanfilippo through midfield and down into Seattle territory. Couple of bounces inside the 18-yard box where it's grabbed by the keeper. Mahoney with it with the right foot. He'll deliver through midfield into Rhino territory. Lewis stepping in underneath it. Heads it the other way downfield. And as Jackson runs over Adosian up the back, the foul is called. And a free kick for the Rhinos, 45 yards out. 83rd minute. The Rhinos scoring in the 70th to take a 1-0 lead. Ball off at the near side, brought up the left wing by Palguda. Turns it to the outside. It's Lyons with it, 30 yards out. Lyons working toward the middle. Being chased, now turns around, still with the ball on the near side, giving it off to Palguda. Return pass up the wing, but it skips away and rolls along the touchline and out on the near side. Throw in for the Sounders in their own end of the field on the near side. Throw in to be taken by Somoza. Throw in out across midfield. That's flicked forward, but chased down by Burtz. Boots it up in the air on the near wing, and off the outside of his foot, it's into the stands. Throw in on the near side of the field. For the Sounders, from the Rochester 35. Somoza for the throw-in. Backs up a couple of yards, looking inside the 18. He's got a pretty good service. Also, high floater coming down at the 10. It's headed up in the air on the near wing. Underneath it, Delicott with the left foot will put it right back to about the same spot out of bounds. Another throw-in on the near side of the field for the Sounders. Now the 85th minute. 85th minute. And another throw-in on the near side for Seattle. Whistle to stop play. Ref says to Somoza, no, don't gain so much territory. Here's the throw-in down inside. Coming down around the 10, headed to the outside and out over the end line off of the Rhinos. A corner kick for the Sounders. Seattle corner off the right wing side. Left-footed kicker, Greger, to take the kick. In swinging kick. Here comes the service in the box. Back post. Up in the air. They scored. It was for the back post and headed in. The Sounders have evened it up. The Rhinos, for the first time this season, have given up a goal. That's the first goal against the Rhinos this season. As off the corner kick, headed in the upper left corner, and it's now even at 1 apiece. Seattle scores in the 85th minute. And we'll have to get who actually put the ball away, as there were several players at the back post headed up inside the upper left. And so now it's even up at 1 apiece. And again, that's the first goal the Rhinos have allowed this season. Well, they couldn't catch the name off the public address announcement as to who scored the goal. Here's the service down inside. Out to grab it. Here's Vallow, and then collides with his own defender in a collision, who's still down on the field. Rochester players have Palguda, and the ball rolling all the way downfield by Vallow. And a collision with, I think that's Palguda maybe. No, there's Palguda out there. There's that maybe Burtz. Looks like it might be Burtz, who's down on the field. Well, so Seattle scoring the first goal of the season against Rochester to even this one up at 1 apiece, scoring in the 85th minute. And we're all even up now. 86th minute. So Burt's setting up. And now gets up. Vallow and Burt's colliding, and Burt's is up under his own power. Seems to be all right. The Rhinos, of course, should they have an injury, they're out of luck as they've made all their 5 substitutions on the night. Well, Burt's is up now, beginning to run. He's all right. And we're into the 87th minute. Throw in across the way for the Rhinos. Perry from the Seattle 20 on the far side of the field will take the throw in. Backs up now. Here comes the throw in down inside the box. Up in the air they go. Headed away and out top. In underneath it. Howes nods it to the outside. Perry on the right wing. Has it 30 yards out, trying to sneak through at the far end of the box. Cross down in front, hit ball in, but out the near wing. There's a shot in, rolling along front. They score! Oh no, the offside flag is in the air. Offside flag is in the air. Lewis puts it away, but the Rhinos are offside. Oh man, oh man. What a disappointment that is for the Rhinos. And here comes the kick from the keeper. Mahoney through midfield. Headed up in the air on the far wing, and that one is pushed forward. And Seattle on the attack. Drawn down to the Rhino 20. Turns to the right, shot in, but cracked up over top of the crossbar. Goal kick for the Rhinos. Well, the Rhinos put it away, however, offside. And, of course, did not count. It remains even at 1. We're in the 88th minute from Seattle. Gallo placing the ball at his 6. With the right foot. Will deliver through midfield. Delicott with a flick. Up in the air, and that's pushed forward to Adosia. Nods it to the outside, turning back. As it's played back by Jackson. The keeper, Mahoney, with the right foot. Will shank it up in the air and out of bounds on the near side. Throw in on the near side of the field for the Rhinos. Perry moving up for the throw in from 40 yards out. Takes a look. Getting set for the service. Here it is. Throws it along the 18. Delicott nods it down inside the box. Adosian trying to get to it. In a collision. Mahoney coming up with the ball. Throws it off of the far side. And brought away by Gregor. On the left wing. Downfield. Into Rhino territory. Knocked away. And the Rhinos recover the ball. Turn up the right side. Lines ahead to midfield. Ben Younger. One touch to the outside. But stepping in. Abalaji steals it away for the Sounders. Into Rhino territory on the far wing. That's dropped back and pulled forward by Ben Younger. Rolling into the middle. But that's taken right back by the Sounders. Pass into the center circle. On the near wing. Pushed to the outside. And running onto the ball goes Somoza. 89th minute from Seattle. Off the near wing. Drawn forward along the 20. Trying to sneak through Somoza, but it's knocked away. Comes on top. Gregor with the left foot. Boots it in, and he puts it wide right of the net. Just missing wide to the right side. Diving for it, Vallow. And I think if it had been on the frame, Vallow would have gotten a hand on it, but it goes wide and out over the end line. And as I have it now, unofficially even at 5 shots apiece here in the second half. Sounders have scored to tie it at 1. Rhinos taking a 1-0 lead, 70th minute. Sounders tying it up in the 85th. And the ball flighted through midfield. Up they go, flick forward. And the whistle is blown. Foul is called and a restart for the Rhinos. Seattle player in a bit of a collision right there with Lines. And the Seattle player down on the turf. And there should be plenty of stoppage time coming up as the clock about to stop in about 15 seconds. Let's see how much additional time there will be. Restart for the Rhinos. Dalguda looks it over and set to go now with the left foot. Sends it down inside the 18, far into the box, headed up in the air, and underneath it they go again. Up top, Adosian head ball in. At the 6th shot in, but it's blocked away and out over the end line off of Mahoney. And a corner kick for the Rhinos. Corner kick for Rochester. 5 minutes of stoppage time, 5 minutes of additional time with the right foot. Here's a service by Menyonger. Back post side, punched away and on top. Settled at the 20. Sanfilippo takes a shot, but that's blocked away and on top. And brought away by Levesque up the left wing side. And back slowing him up was Howes. The ball booted downfield out of his 18 is Vallow. First time's up high in the air downfield. In underneath Delicott as he is spun around and taken down by Abalaji. Rolls down inside the 18 and Mahoney picks it up. 5 minutes of additional time. Ball booted away into the center circle. And underneath it, Lyons hits it back across the midfield line. As moving in, Menyonger trying to come away. Lyons has it, but pulled down to his knees. And the foul is called, and that's foul on the Rhinos. We'll go the other way. Seattle on the restart. Sounders have the ball. With the right foot. Long service down inside the 18. Vallow up in the air. Comes down with the ball at his 10. Waits for the players to move away. Then throws it ahead up the right wing side. In underneath it. Howes able to volley it through midfield. Adosian up for the ball. That's headed up in the air. Coming down to the center circle again. Knotted across midfield into Rhino territory. Tomlinson touching it to the outside. After the ball to the far wing goes Birch. Getting in underneath it. Tomlinson chasing him. And Birch will drive with the right foot downfield. But it skips out of bounds on the far side. Throw in near midfield. on the far side of the field for the Rhinos, or for the Sounders. Long throw in through midfield, but the whistle to stop play. They want to do the throw in all over again. Seattle side of midfield. Abalashi with the throw in. Into Rhino territory, and it's knocked away and off of Sakuda and out. No, it's off the Rhinos and out, so another throw in for the Sounders from the Rochester 35. Down inside, booted away and out top, tipped ahead, and brought away by Manyonger. Sneaks a pass ahead, Delicate return pass to Manyonger. Now approaching midfield with the right foot, long up the right side. Adosi, and he's in behind, an offside flag. Offside against the Rhinos, third of the match, third of the half, that is, fifth of the match. Free kick for the Sounders. That is flighted through midfield, coming down around the Rochester 25, not into the middle, and getting to it is Perry to pound it out through the center circle. Headed into Rhino territory. Flighted through, and a foul is called. And that off of Levesque. The foul on Levesque of the Sounders. So it'll be a free kick for the Rhinos to their own side of midfield. We're in stoppage time here in Seattle, where it's even up at 1 apiece. Rochester scored in the 70th, but the Sounders came up and tied it in the 85th. Dallow way out to take this kick from around the 45 with the right foot. Line drives it down to the 18. Flick on by Delicate down inside. Headed to the outside. Manyonger with the right foot. Back in front. Adosian. Hit ball. No. It's over top of him. Then flighted out on the near side. Rolls out over the end line. And a caution is issued to Adosian. Yellow flag to Adosian. In the 90th minute. As he goes up the back of the defender. With the right foot. Puts it out through midfield. Mahoney. Center circle knotted forward. Palguda stepping in to hit it back to the midfield line. Seattle stepping in, pushing him forward up the near wing for Somoza. Pass ahead, blocked away and on the near side and out of bounds by Palguda. Throw in once again. One of the Sounders, Somoza, high floater. Down inside the Rhino 18 as it comes out the near wing. Shot toward the net, grabbed off the line by Vallow. As Tomlinson got the boot on it. Right away by the Rhinos. Vallow. In underneath the ball with the right foot. A half volley kick downfield. Delicate up. Flicks it forward. Turning back. Adosian getting to the ball. As the Seattle player goes down, Adosian dropping it off of the far wing. Lewis pushes it up the right side. Adosian after it. On the right wing side. Down to the far end. Cross down inside. Punched away by Mahoney out top. Moving it. House to the shot. He scores! Greg House puts it away. It was punched out top by Mahoney, and House stepping in with the left foot, pounds it inside the post, and the Rhinos regain the lead. Stoppage time, and the Rhinos are up now by a 2-1 score. House up into the stands, sits in the second row of the stands, and relaxes. Greg House coming up with a goal again in stoppage time as the Rhinos regain the lead. For House, his first of the season. And the yellow card is issued to House for his theatrics in the 90th minute. But I'll tell you what, he'll take it. He enjoyed every minute of it. So the Rhinos regain the lead here in stoppage time. Sounders down quickly on the restart with the right foot. We'll send it downfield. Manyonger in underneath it. Pounds it away and out top. On the far side, spinning around. Pushed away in the far wing. Rolls out of bounds on the far side and out. And a throw in across the way for the Rhinos. Wow. What a turn of events here. Rochester had taken a 1-0 lead. Seattle came back and tied it. But in stoppage time, the Rhinos have regained the lead. High floater through midfield. Headed away on the far side of the field. Out to near midfield. Blocked forward. And the ball in the far wing. Adosian underneath it. And skip forward out to midfield. Out of bounds. Head off of the Sounders. Throw in at midfield for the Rhinos. Got to be getting close now. We had 5 minutes of stoppage time. Got to be at least 4 minutes gone. If not 6 or 8. Long throw in deep to the corner for Adosian. As he and Abalashi tie up in the corner boards and battle for the ball. The whistle blows, and that is it. That is it. The Rhinos come back and win this one here tonight and keep their record intact. The only failure, if there is one on the night, is for the first time the Rhinos have allowed a goal. But Rochester comes out on top tonight with the victory in very fine fashion, coming away with a 2-1 win. Scoring in stoppage time, the Rhinos win it and are still back to first place in the league. Final score tonight from Quest Field in Seattle. The Rochester Rhinos 2, Seattle Sounders 1, and this is the Rhinos Broadcast Network. Well, the Rhinos certainly made it exciting here tonight as they come away with the victory and maintain their unbeaten record on the season. Rochester now on the year, in 4 games played, have a record of 4 wins, no losses, no ties, another 3 points. The Rhinos now have 12 of the season and back to first place in USL First Division. Rhinos on top with 12 points. Vancouver now second with 10. Seattle with a record now in 3 games played of no wins, 2 losses, and a tie, remain in 10th place with 1 point. And the Rhinos finally coming up with a victory here in Seattle again, have evened up the lifetime record against the Seattle Sounders at 5 wins, 5 losses, and a tie. So the Rhinos again 4-0 on the season, but there was one blemish on the night, and that was the Rhinos gave up a goal for the first time this season. Glad to have you folks along with us tonight in the first of the 3 games to the West Coast for the Rhinos. It'll continue on Friday night from Portland and next Monday night from Vancouver. All right, let's take a look at the scoring in the game. There was no scoring in the first half of play, and the first goal of the night came in the 70th minute. The Rhinos on the board first. Matt Delicott coming up with his second goal in as many games for the Rhinos, and this one puts the Rhinos up 1-0. Comes down to the middle of the 6, up in the air they go. Right-footed kick, knocked down to the 10, moving in, rolling, they score! Delicott up with the ball, 10 yards out, puts it inside the left post, and the Rhinos score first. So Delicott getting the goal in the 70th minute, and the Rhinos come away with a 1-0 lead. It looked like they might be able to hold on. However, the Sounders, as the game was drawing to a close, had something else in mind and scored in the 85th minute. The goal was credited to Weaver, who has now both of the Seattle Sounders goals this season. The goal was scored by Cam Weaver off the corner kick from Gregor in the 85th minute, and this one evens the game up at 1 apiece. In swinging kick, here comes the service, in the box, back post, up in the air, they scored! It was for the back post and headed in. The Sounders have evened it up. The Rhinos, for the first time this season, have given up a goal. So that was the blemish on the night for Scott Vallow and the Rhinos as the Sounders scored and even the game up at 1. But very theatrically, the Rhinos coming out on top, scoring in stoppage time with just about 30 seconds or so left in additional time at the end of the game, put it away. And it was scored by Howes, his first since returning to the Rhinos this season. Greg Howes gets the goal, and he has been so good and so strong as a sub over the last couple of years for this team, and he comes through again here tonight. So this is the game-winning goal in stoppage time. On the right wing side, down to the far end, cross down inside, punched away by Mahoney out top, moving it, Howes to the shot, he scores! Greg Howes puts it away, it was punched out top by Mahoney, and Howes stepping in with the left foot, pounds it inside the post, and the Rhinos regain the lead. Stoppage again, the 90th minute, they say unassisted. Now by a 2-1 score. They say unassisted goal by Howes as it was punched away by Mahoney. And so Howes scoring in the 90th minute to give the Rhinos a 2-1 lead, and that was just seconds before the whistle blew in stoppage time, and the Rhinos came out on top 2-1. Well, a great finish on the night for Rochester here this evening. Unofficial stats at this point. Unofficially, I had the Rhinos outshooting Seattle 11-8. That again, unofficial stats. And in corner kicks, the Rochester Rhinos had 4, and the Seattle Sounders with 4. And then offsides, Rochester 5, and Seattle with 2. Scott Vallow in goal maintains his perfect record of the season at 4 wins and no losses, but does give up a goal here tonight, so he's allowed 1 goal now in 4 games. It would be, about a 0.25 goals against average. And then at the other end, Mahoney takes the loss, giving up 2 goals tonight, so he has an 0-2 record on the season. And again, Rochester leading the season series by a 1-game-to-none margin. They'll play one more time, and that'll be in Rochester. And July the 28th will be when Seattle comes to Paytech Park. All right, as far as these awards are concerned tonight, the play of the game obviously got to be the game-winning goal in stoppage time. That's the play of the game tonight. The Pellegrino's sub of the game. Well, obviously, again, that's got to be Greg Howes, who came in. Not only did he score that game-winning goal, but he did create some other opportunities when he came in as a substitute at the half and played an excellent game. So Howes is the Pellegrino's sub of the game tonight. the Power Trip Player of the Game. Well, let's see. Do you go with Howes? I thought there were several players that played very well. Scott Dallow had a great save early on in the game. I thought Charles Becky played an outstanding game tonight. And as usual, Frankie Sanfilippo played a great game. But you know what? What the heck? Let's go with Greg Howes again as he comes up and scores in stoppage time and puts the game away. So the Power Trip Player of the Game tonight to Greg Howes, who had a big night here tonight. All right, that's going to wrap it up for us tonight from Quest Field in Seattle as the Rhinos continue and unbeaten on the season and now 4 wins and no losses. And they'll see if they can keep it rolling come Friday night as they travel down the road to Portland to meet the Timbers. I hope you'll join us for the broadcast. Same time on Friday night. A broadcast beginning at 9:30 Rochester time and kickoff time at 10 o'clock Rochester time. That'll be on Friday night along our network from Portland. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. The final score from Quest Field in Seattle. The Rochester Rhinos 2, Seattle Sounders 1. Stick around, Joe Giuliano and Soccer Sam, and a lot more coming your way now from Seattle. This is the Rhinos Broadcast Network.
Good morning, soccer fans. I never thought I'd say that, but it is actually 12:15 in the morning on Thursday, May 18th. But we are just celebrating a great Rhinos victory tonight in Seattle. Again, the final score, if you're just tuning in now, the Rhinos 2, the Sounders 1, winning the game in dramatic fashion. Greg Howes with a beauty in stoppage time, giving the Rhinos the 2-1 win over Seattle tonight. It's now time for the Food Link out-of-town scoreboard and USL First Division standings. The only other game that merits attention besides the Rhinos and Seattle, the Champions League final in Paris this afternoon. Barcelona defeating Arsenal 2-1 for their second Champions League final. And going back to the USL First Division, looking at the standings now, with the win tonight, the Rhinos are the number 1 team in the league with 12 points, 4 wins, no losses, no ties. They've scored 8 goals, given up 1 goal. Vancouver just behind the Rhinos with 10 points, record of 3 wins, no losses, and 1 tie, setting up a great matchup for the Monday night game in Vancouver. If the Rhinos can come through in Portland, it'll be a great match on Monday night. So that's a look at the Food Link out-of-town scoreboard and standings. When we come back, it'll be the Nextel Direct call-in show. The number here is 222-9393. Soccer Sam will join us after the break. The Rhinos 2, the Sounders 1. This is the Raging Rhinos Broadcast Network. Welcome back. This is now the Nextel Direct call-in show driven by Auto Depot and Auction Direct. I'm Joe Giuliano. Again, the Rhinos in dramatic fashion winning over the Seattle Sounders tonight 2-1. Again, Greg Howes in stoppage time with the blast to give the Rhinos the victory. Soccer Sam on the line now with us, and Coach Calloway also with him. Guys, what a great victory, exciting finish to this match tonight at Quest Field in Seattle.
Joey, it was one of the greatest soccer games I've ever seen, honestly. Back and forth, it was just a battle. Delicate, the kid hit more headers in tonight's game than most people have in a lifetime. I mean, it was amazing. But I got to tell you, Coach Calloway smiling here from ear to ear. There's fans still here hugging our Rhino players, hanging out with them, people that came from the West Coast that follow this team, people that are on the internet following this team. They're here tonight, hanging out with our boys. Coach Calloway, what a victory tonight. Well, Coach Calloway's got a call. He's got to take care of a call, Joe. Joe, I got to tell you, buddy, the goal, the final goal, after he scored it, he jumps into the crowd. He just goes nuts, just like it was a home game. It was a fantastic finish, and these boys just worked so hard. I mean, my 4 top players of the first half, Joe, well, you know how I usually have my 6, but my 4 of my 6 came out. John Ball, Juninho, Kraft, and T-Bone all came out of the game, and we still basically dominated play.
Sam, it sounded like at the end of the first half, Ball and Juninho were having some discussions coming off the field. Did you notice anything like that?
Joe, I didn't see any discussions. I could find out, obviously, real soon here. I'm approaching the locker room right now, and I'll get you some insight. Coach Calloway was about to interview him, but he's taking a phone call here from probably the other members of the media. But I didn't see anything happen. Honestly, I saw John Ball limping coming out of the tunnel in second half, and I saw Juninho with ice on his shin. So I'm assuming there was some kind of injury. Kraft went down a couple times with, like, he was grabbing his side, and then he basically couldn't take it anymore, and he came out of the game. And Bonsu looked like he had either some kind of concussion or cut in the eye because he couldn't see.
Sam, you made a great point in the pregame show about the surface being very flat, very hard. How did that impact the game tonight in Seattle?
So it was, I wish you could see it, man. It was just bouncing like a beach ball all over the place. It was very tough to control. It was just bouncing. So after a while, the guys kind of got it, and they just kept the ball nice on the ground. Or when they went up high, they were going up high for the headers. But I tell you, Matthew Delicott and Charles Becky, they're headers. I mean, those guys up top, they had so many close opportunities. They just read each other so well. I mean, there wasn't a weak spot on the field tonight. I just think both teams just played fantastic. It was fantastic soccer.
From the radio broadcast, Sammy, it sounded like it was some heavyweights going blow for blow. The action seemed end-to-end opportunities for both teams. You were there. You saw the game in person. Is that the way it carried out?
Definitely, Joe. It was just up and down. I mean, you probably watched the game this afternoon.
Absolutely.
This game was a better game. I mean, it was just up and down. It was just so beautiful. It was a tough game to watch. Val made a couple key saves. Their goalkeeper made a couple key saves. A couple of questionable offsides on both ends. So, I mean, it was just an exciting game to watch as a fan.
How about 5 minutes of stoppage time? That's when you consider it, that's a huge chunk of stoppage time. Were you a bit surprised by that amount of time?
Joe, when I saw the 5 come up, I thought they're substituting. I'm looking for where's number 5 coming in or who's 5 going out. I couldn't believe that. It seemed, excessive. Again, I'm not on the field with a watch in my hand and keeping track, but it didn't seem like there was that much stoppage of play. A couple guys went down here and there, but 5 minutes is a long time. But, let's face it. I mean, the 5 minutes got us that goal.
Tonight, the Rhinos, Sammy, they made their 5 full substitutions. Ball came out, Juninho, Perry, Becky, and Kraft, Becky, and Bonsu came off tonight. Do you think the travel may have had something to do with that and a little fatigued right now?
I'm not sure if the team's fatigued. I have John Ball with me right now. I can give you some insight on what happened here. But, Johnny, Joe Giuliano, I mean, how you feeling? Everything all right with you? I mean, you played great in the first half. You didn't come out. You seem like you're limping. You're all right, buddy?
Yeah, I'm fine. I mean, it's just a 2 days for us, and it showed today, and hopefully we got all the jet lag and everything out, and now we're going to focus on Portland.
Johnny, Soccer Sam said on the pregame show that the surface, not the normal field turf because it was matted down very, very hard. He made a great point about you and Greg Howes, who've played indoor, be able to adjust to that. How did that hard surface affect the game tonight?
I really don't think it really affected the game. Maybe there's a little more balls that bounced around and stuff, but, as pros, you got to be able to, step on any field and, do what you want. Like I said earlier, I think it was more of a fatigue factor on the fact that, we're just getting used to the West Coast right now. And, the game's over right now at 9 o'clock, and it's 12 o'clock back home. So, that's just the only thing that we got to get adjusted to by Friday and Monday.
Coach Callaway, at halftime, it sounded like the Rhinos came out pretty fired up after the half. What was the locker room talk like?
Coach just, made some points about, playing the ball quick and getting forward. And, we had to link up with Matthew and Charles to just hold the ball up for us. And, obviously that's what they did, and we got the goals, and, we stole one tonight.
The venue, Quest Field, 67,000 seats. I'm sure not every seat filled tonight, but is it difficult to play in a venue like that? It's a mammoth park, and it's not even close to being filled.
No, I mean, it's more like a home, just like a home game for us, I mean, yeah, we're on the road, but in all honesty, the fans really aren't a factor because they're kind of far away and they're really not that loud. So just kind of, just go out, man up and do your job. And obviously, we won.
Well, John Ball, the magic continues. 4 road games, 4 wins. Congratulations. Keep up the good work.
Thanks, Boston. See you guys soon.
All right, John Ball. Game 1 of the 3-game West Coast trip in the books for the Rhinos, a 2-1 win over Seattle. This is the Nextel Direct Call-In Show, driven by Auto Depot and Auction Direct. Our number here is 222-9393. And let's go to the phones and speak with Iggy, who's still up this morning listening to some soccer talk. Iggy, how are you?
Good. The reason I'm up, I got a couple weeks off. I'm done with school for spring, and going to start a summer class in a couple weeks. But so it's easy to stay up.
But what do you think about the game?
Yeah, it just sounds like the Rhinos are continually taking it to the other teams. Even when I'm not there live, I just feel like, it's like we almost always have the ball.
Oh, wow.
Iggy, are you in a party right now?
Joe, I'm sorry about that, buddy.
Oh, that's you, Sam. I thought Iggy was at a party.
Hate to interrupt you, buddy, real quick. Coach Calloway's here right now. You can ask him some questions if you want.
Go ahead.
Coach, some defensive changes. I mean, right after that, the goal happened. Your thoughts of the substitutes you had to make tonight?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Hey, Coach. Congratulations.
Sorry I didn't get on early. Devo got a deadline, so I took care of him first. So, we had to make some changes through injuries, and T-Bone couldn't see. Nate got a breathing problem, sort of like a bang in the ribs, and so some of those were forced, and I think they probably led to the misassignment on their goal. But, you can't give these guys enough credit. We made a few tactical changes at half-time. I didn't think we played offensively very well in the first half, but we played extremely well defensively. And that's what you got to do on the road, especially against a national champion. I mean, they're a good team. And we didn't allow them many opportunities in the game, period. And in the second half, with the adjustments, we created quite a lot of chances for ourselves. So the offside goal just before House's goal was very similar, a little closer in, hence the call, I guess, although I couldn't see from where I am, and I'm not sure until I see the TV whether it was offside. But, totally deserved win on the balance of the play, and onward and upward, one game at a time, as we keep saying.
Coach, talk about the move with Juninho and Ball coming off at the half. Was there a situation where they were arguing coming off the field? It sounded like there was a situation going on. And what was your talk at halftime with the guys in the locker room?
Yeah, I mean, there was some strong throw. I didn't want it to fester in the second half, and hence those substitutions. But, we'll sort it out tomorrow. My style is we get them both in a room and be honest with each other. Probably have to have Becky in there as well so we can interpret Portuguese with Juninho. But, he's got a short fuse, so has John Ball, and these things happen sometimes in teams. As long as it doesn't continue, then I think it's a good thing. You could turn that energy and that passion and that feistiness into your favour. At some point, that's probably going to help us down the road. Today, I decided to not let that carry on, and hence the substitutions.
Those are two guys we definitely want to keep on our side, and I'm sure you'll keep them in line. Greg House seems like he's a guy you're slowly bringing along, getting him back to outdoor shape. What a performance tonight. Talk about his goal in stoppage time to give it the 2-1 win.
Well, Greg came on at half-time and played in the sort of central midfield role with T-Bone, which gave us much more stability defensively, because Greg is a good defender. He's also a decent passer of the ball, and he got very involved right away as far as linking between our defense and offense. He was constantly popping up in the box because he was given more of the offensive role than T-Bone. And, on 2 or 3 occasions, he caused some serious problems for them. And he was Johnny on the spot, which has been his career. I mean, he's one of those sniffers. He's got quality in front of goal. It's a crowded box, and I think he was about 10, 12 yards out. And he threaded it through a bunch of legs and bodies and into the back of the net. So, and what a thrill for him being from this city, Tacoma, just 30 minutes away. So, I mean, a great night for him. But, everybody deserves credit. The whole team played well. I'm proud of them all. And we keep saying the only thing I asked for tonight was another shutout. We didn't quite get that, but I'll take this.
Greg Howes, you mentioned, native of Tacoma. Little of a homecoming for you as well. You coached the Sounders in the North American Soccer League. Your thoughts on returning to Seattle?
Yeah, I coached them in the final season. Coached them into oblivion. I also coached their coach. He was one of my young players in that era, and he went on to play in indoor, and then he's done very well for himself as a coach. Got the national championship with these guys last year, Brian Smetzer. So, crowds were a bit bigger in those days, but it's always fun to come back here. I had some people that have, were supporting the Sounders 32 years ago, are still supporting this version of the Sounders.
That's
they came down to say hello on the rail before the game and remembered the old days and the good times of the North American Soccer League, which I was a part of. So it's nice to come back here. Plus, it's an absolutely spectacular city.
Yeah, beautiful place to be, to work, and to play. Next on the list is the Portland Timbers on Friday. What's the schedule like for the club? Do you travel to Portland tomorrow, get rested, and prepare for Friday?
Yeah, we'll get them to dinner now and then to bed. We're trying to get on the West Coast clock straight away, so we'll have an early start, and then we'll rest them when we get down there. It's about a 2.5-hour drive, and leave about 9 o'clock. And we'll probably talk about the game tomorrow. Get the guys home to bed now and rested, and then we'll talk about review this game, and then start talking about Portland and the way they line up and where their strengths and weaknesses are.
Well, Coach, this is just tremendous stuff. 4 wins off of 4 road games. You're creating such a ton of excitement leading up to that June 3rd opener at Paytech Park. Keep the guys fired up, and congratulations on a great start.
I'm very proud of the guys. They're doing great, and I appreciate your congratulations. I just hope we can keep it going and bring this team back on the 3rd with a full house and unbeaten, if possible 7-0, but certainly unbeaten.
Coach, enjoy the victory meal and have one for me tonight.
Oh, I might have 2 for you.
All right, Laurie. Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you soon. Laurie Calloway having 2 for me. Hey, it's 9:30 out there. May as well have 3. What do you say? Again, the final score tonight: the Rhinos 2, the Sounders 1. Our number here is 222-9393. Give us a call. When we go to break, we'll take your calls, and we'll also continue speaking with Soccer Sam, who is live at Quest Field in Seattle. You are listening to the Nextel Direct Call-In Show, driven by Auto Depot and Auction Direct on the Rhinos Broadcast Network. Welcome back, and good morning. This is the Nextel Direct Call-In Show, driven by Auto Depot and Auction Direct. I'm Joe Giuliano, and live at Quest Field, Soccer Sam. Sammy, adjusting to the West Coast time change?
Hey, Joe, you threw me out there. Good morning. I thought I was like, whoa, did I miss something here? I thought I didn't take my medication again. I got Frankie Sampilupo with me right now, Joe. Frankie, defensive player of the game, possibly for you. Then T-Bone went down. You went and played in the middle. How you doing? And your whole family was here. Everyone from California. So how was? I mean, you got a little emotional after the game. I saw you with your family hugging them, kissing them. Yeah. Your thoughts of tonight's game and your team's performance.
Our team performance was like 95 minutes we played today's game, and we never stopped. We kept on going and going, and in the last 5 minutes of extra time, we put one away, and it was a great celebration. Howes, I mean, he's from Seattle and everything, and he scores a goal, like one of the best celebrations I've seen in Quest Field ever.
Frankie, this is Joe Giuliano back in the morning in Rochester, New York. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Joe?
Good. The talk has really been the Rhinos were the only team in the first division yet to give up a goal. 355 minutes of scoreless soccer. Seattle finally in the 85th minute breaking that mark. Is it going to be difficult to kind of overcome that, or is it part of the game and you guys got to move on?
We just got to move on from that goal and everything. But I mean, I would love to have a 0 back there and everything, but stuff happens. So we came back in the extra time and everything, and we put it in. So I mean, we scored a goal. It was 2-1, but we gave up a goal. But I mean, you just got to let it go and move on to the next game against Portland. From listening to the broadcast late in the match, it really sounded like Seattle was piling on the pressure. Did you get that same impression down on the pitch? At the end of the game, I thought, like, in the second half, I thought we definitely had more chances. We're creating more stuff and everything. I think Seattle was probably getting a little more chances. They were just bunking balls in, and it just seemed like, Powell was all over the goal and the ball, so I think they were just getting bonking balls more just because they were down a goal. So they were just more offensively in the second half.
Soccer Sam mentioned that you're from California, your family making the trip to see the game. As a professional soccer player, you don't get to spend a lot of time with the family. It's going to be a very special occasion to see the family and have them see you play live in person.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. It's emotional because I barely see my family every year, and my dad I barely see it because when I'm home, he's not home, so he's always working. So it's tough, but when I see my family, I love it because I never see them, and they're always supportive of me and everything. So it's good.
Frankie, you took a bit of a knock earlier in the season, health-wise. What's the report on Frankie Sanfilippo?
I'm good to go. I'm ready to run another 90 minutes on Friday.
You are the man. Listen, keep up the good work. You guys are doing great in the back and great up top, so just keep up the magic.
Okay, thanks, Joe.
All right, Frankie Sanfilippo. Again, the Rhinos had 355 minutes of scoreless soccer. 85th minute, Cam Weaver finally scoring, but Frankie's got the right attitude. Just move on, forget about it. The defense is still rock solid. I'm sure Soccer Sam agrees with that. It's a great defensive team we've got going this year, don't we?
Definitely. Joe, what they did, I'm sure Don explained it, but when in the middle there, when Kraft went down, Palgudo went back to his old left side, and Jason Perry went in the middle next to Kenny Burtz, and then next thing you know, on the outside there, Ricky Lewis came in, and it was just like, I'm thinking to myself, these guys could probably start, and any MLS team, all 6 of them. It was just like, it didn't matter who was in, who was out. It's unbelievable. And in the middle, you lost Juninho, you lost John Ball, probably 2 of the best players in our league, and still we dominated play in the middle. And it's just amazing the way these guys play. I'm about to approach the bus here, Joe, so if you need to take some callers, whatever, and I'll try to line up Greg Howes next.
Sounds good. The number here again is 222-9393. This is the Nextel Direct call-in show driven by Auto Depot and Auction Direct. I'm Joe Giuliano. Soccer Sam making his way towards the bus. We have Iggy back on the line. Iggy, sorry to cut you off there before, but how you doing, and welcome back to the show.
Good. No. I mean, a couple things that really impressed me. I had a feeling, when I heard you guys say that, you saw Juninho and John Ball kind of going at it on the way to the locker room. I thought, I bet they got benched. I bet they were arguing, and Callaway said, that's it, and that's what he said. He said he's going to handle it later. But how great is it to have a team that you can bench guys because they're not acting the way team players should act, and you don't lose anything. I mean, the guys that came in actually, contributed to the goal, the winning goal. I mean,
Wait, speaking of the winning goal, Greg Howes, dude, tell me about that celebration. What was that all about?
It was just something that, sitting there in the first half, they looked a little empty over there in the, I don't know, about 2 years ago, Terrell Owens had a good celebration where he took a Sharpie out and signed the football and tossed it into the field level suites there at Quest Field. So it was something that me and Lancey were talking about there in the first half. If we got a chance in the second half, that I was going to park myself up in the stands there and kind of gladly took the yellow.
That's got to be the best yellow card you've gotten in your career, I'm sure.
Excuse me? I didn't hear you.
That's got to be one of the best yellow cards you've picked up in your career.
Oh, by far. By far. It's, the referee kind of looked up at me when I was in the stands and, said, yeah, you got one here. And I said, hey, I'll gladly take that one.
Greg, that goal you scored, kind of reminiscent of some you scored last year at Frontier. I remember you scored one where the ball was punched out, you smacked it on a volley. Same kind of situation, right place at the right time, and just hit it pretty sweet?
Yeah, I mean, it was, I was kind of playing, withdrawn midfielder and just trailing the play, and I thought their keeper kind of made a little bit of a blunder by not coming out and trying to catch the ball, and he tried to punch it, and the ball never really got cleared out of the box, and it just popped out there probably about 15, 16 yards out, and I just got a good left foot on it and kept it low, and scored it through a few defenders, and a couple of them were posted on the goal line. So, after getting scored on in the 85th minute, it was awesome for us, especially being as young as we are, to bounce back and get that goal in extra time.
Dramatic fashion. Very exciting to listen to back here in Rochester. Your transition from the indoor game to the outdoor game sounds like Coach Calloway is slowly easing you back into the lineup, getting more time as we go on here. Physically, your fitness, how do you feel?
Well, actually, you get Coach Calloway speaking right now on the bus. So.
It's private talk. We'll go back to Iggy. Iggy, while Coach Calloway's speaking on the bus to the boys, I'm sure we don't want to hear his conversation because there could be a few words that cannot go over the airwaves. Iggy, again, your thoughts on the game tonight?
Oh, I think a lot of great teams are judged not by how few goals they give up, but I would rather see us give up a goal and then see what happens, because that's the true champion. If you can bounce back, and there they tied the game late, and we were able to raise it up a notch, and that's the sign of a great team, not just not letting up goals, because a lot of that is just luck, I mean, we have a good defense, but, like I said after the Toronto game, we got lucky because Toronto had some opportunities. And but all right, you give up a goal late. There's only 5 minutes left. What do? Do you roll over and say, okay, we'll settle for a tie? A tie is good on the road, or do you let them build momentum and maybe score another goal before the end of the game? And we took it, we raised it up a notch, and we had even more opportunities crunched into that short amount of time left in the game. So that's a great. That's a great
Before
sign.
the change of coaches here, I hate to say it, but that would have been the situation. Rochester would have been content defending, just being very conservative, going for that 1-1 result. But Coach Calloway has put together a team, and Frankie Sanfilippo epitomizes it. They're never going to stop. They're going to continue to go. It's a nonstop team, and he's got the pieces in place. I just hope it continues. It's a long season. It's been exciting through 4 games. Greg, if you're still on the line, Coach is done talking. Let's get back to your conversation here.
All right. Greg Howes had a little coaches meeting here on the bus. Housey. So Joe wants to know 2 things. First of all, does indoor soccer rule? That's what he wants to know. The first thing.
Well, no, not right now. Talk to me about November, December of next year. That's all about outdoor right now. I'm trying to win a championship outdoors. Something that I've been trying to go after since I've been playing outdoors. So I got a couple indoor and looking to get one outdoor.
How about your homecoming? You're a native of Tacoma, Washington. In 2000, 17 goals for the Sounders. Today, thoughts going through your mind? Did you envision a great goal in stoppage time to win the game?
Well, it's kind of something that Valo and I talked about as roommates. Is as a forward or as a player, you like to do a lot of visualization. So, laying there today taking a nap, I knew I'd probably maybe get in the second half sometime. And, in a tight game as a goal scorer, you kind of like to, put that in your mind that if you do get the game winner. And being that I kind of pre-planned that celebration, I was, I'd have to say I probably thought about it a little bit.
Every time I talk to Coach this year so far after the game, and we talk about Greg Howes, he's impressed with your performance. When do you expect to see more than 40, 45 minutes this season?
Well, I coming in obviously late, last week it was kind of a scenario where I'm not ready for a 90 minutes, so I'm not really upset or disappointed that I'm not in the starting lineup right now. It's I played 45 tonight and felt pretty good at the end, but it usually takes me 3 to 5 weeks to get my fitness in my legs. So depending on what happens the rest of this road trip, hopefully coming back from Vancouver, I can probably be as close to match fit as I'm going to be. And obviously, of all the guys on the team, we obviously all want to be on the field for that home opener at Paytech Park. So, I'd like to think that I'll be flying, be able to play 90 minutes strong by then.
Before we let you go, Greg, I know you guys are having a team meal coming up here, but your thoughts on this team, the chemistry that's been, I guess, from everyone talking, the camaraderie is unbelievable on this club this year. Compare last year's squad to this year's squad.
Well, I think last year, you had a lot of the tradition of the Rhinos of the 90s, and and with Lori coming in, with a new coach, it's it's not really like an expansion, but it's kind of like a new process. So, you had a lot of the old, and a lot of the new, and it might not have meshed as well. And this year, basically with a full roster overhaul, I think the young guys are they're eager to learn, and they don't really they don't really fear anything. So it's kind of a scenario where the Rhinos may have lost a little bit of their their prestige there in the early part of the 2000s, and hopefully we're starting to regain it now, and off to a great start this year, and I think it's the best start in my 7 years as a pro outdoor. So we're just going to build on it, and starting the first 7 games on the road is a tough test to any team, and right now we're guaranteed to come home at least a game over 500. Obviously we're shooting to better that, but it's it's just a good feeling, It's to win a game like this on the road to the defending champs that late in the game. It it shows that the hard work the guys put in the preseason, and and the chemistry between the young guys and the veterans is working well for us right now.
Well, Greg, enjoy your visit home to the Pacific Northwest. Congratulations. Enjoy the team meal, and keep up the good work.
Absolutely, guys. Enjoy the game Friday night.
All right, Greg House, thank you very much again. Greg House scoring the winning goal in stoppage time, probably the 93rd, 94th minute from what I can tell from the broadcast tonight. But Greg House going back to Washington and giving the Rhinos the 2-1 win. Sammy, Greg House coming off the indoor game that you love so much. Seems like he's making a very smooth transition to this outdoor Rhino season.
I talked about it in the pregame, that turf, Greg House. I mean, indoor player, man. Just he rifled it, just boom, right in the goal. Got the other goal scorer with me, and I got Scott Vale, who made probably 3 of the nicest saves I've ever seen in outdoor soccer. But Matthew Delicat, the guy had more headers today in today's game than most players get in their whole life. But your thoughts of today's game and that goal, that little mix-up in front, you had one chance, came back, and you got the second chance.
Yeah, I was very happy to get on the score sheet again. I had one disallowed in the first half, and had a great chance early in the second half, which I just put wide, which was I was a little angry at myself for missing. So it was great. The ball popped out to me after a long throw, and I just knocked it under to get the first goal. So I was very happy with that.
Matthew, a goal against Toronto, a goal against Seattle. Momentum starting to pick up. You're going to be a difficult forward to stop here if you continue this streak. You got to be excited about what's going on.
Oh, absolutely. We've had 4 road games now, and we've gone 4-0. I think that's a great feat that we've achieved so far. We've still got another 2 games left this week, so we've got to put this game behind us now and get on with the next one. But I'm very proud of everyone. I think we've done an awesome job so far. But like I said, we've got to look on to the next 2 games now and try and get another 2 wins.
Physically, how are you feeling? A very long travel out to the West Coast, playing on a very hard surface tonight. Physically, how do you feel?
To be honest, this is the best I've felt physically out of all 4 of the games. I picked up a couple of knocks in preseason, and I had to play through that down in Puerto Rico and Miami. And I picked up a little cold last weekend, and I've just gotten over that. So physically, I'm doing great now, and I feel this is the best I've felt probably all year.
Congratulations on the goal. One last question I got to ask you before you go here. Today it was announced the Rhinos playing against Sheffield Wednesday, and in a friendly match. You're from England. Your thoughts on that game on July 22nd?
It's always nice to play some opposition coming over from the UK. I had the chance last year. I think we played against Nottingham Forest and tied that game. It's always nice to get a gauge of what the standard is over there, because I don't think people back in the UK quite understand how high the level is out here. And I think it's gaining a lot more respect for the USL and the MLS by playing good teams coming over like that. So be looking forward to that outing.
Matthew, the ball's rolling your way. Great momentum going. 2 goals in the last 2 games. Keep it up, and best of luck Friday in Portland.
Thank you very much.
Matthew Delicat scored the Rhinos' first goal in the 70th minute. According to the score sheet, unassisted there. He gave the Rhinos a 1-0 lead. Again, in the 70th minute, a very frantic and hectic second half at Quest Field in Seattle. As the Sounders piled on some pressure in the second half, but the Rhinos never quit, continued to attack Seattle. coming away with the 2-1 win. Sammy, I understand you're waiting for Scott Vallow?
Scott Vall's with us right now. Scott, musical defenders, how does that affect your play?
Well, it doesn't really affect my play at all, but it's good to know that we have a lot of depth back there. Last couple games we had defenders go down and guys that come in off the bench, and we don't skip a beat.
Scott, you guys had 355 minutes of scoreless soccer. Mentally, it's tough to give up that goal. How do you deal with that?
It was disappointing to give up the goal, definitely, especially in the time of the game that it happened. 85th minute, we were a little bit disorganized on a corner kick. They kind of threw everything at us. They sent a ball far post, and the guy just outleaped one of our defenders. But the big thing was the comeback after the goal was scored. We didn't put our head down. We knew that we just needed to fight a little bit harder. And, a 95th minute goal for the winners is a great achievement for this team.
Listening to the game back here on the radio in Rochester, sounded like the Sounders were just piling on the pressure late in the match. Did you get that same feeling down in the field?
Yeah, it was kind of a weird circumstance. I think we totally outplayed them the whole game. But when they scored that goal with 5 minutes left, I thought we were going to get out of there with a draw. I'm not sure we would have been happy with that. So even though we were on the road and we were at a point, we still tried to play quick. So both teams were playing quick. Both teams thought they were trying to win. So it was wide open the last 5-10 minutes or so. And they created a couple chances at the end, and we created a couple chances. We just happened to bang one in. So.
Scott, you were with the Rhinos under previous management. Do you think the team would have maybe been a little more conservative, gone and stayed for that 1-1 draw instead of playing on the road and continuing to attack, with this new style team?
I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if it's a mental decision or not. I just think that, today I thought we were the better team, so we deserve the 3 points. If Seattle had totally outplayed us and it was 0-0 or 1-1 going down, maybe we would have been happy with the draw. So I think that question's pretty circumstantial, depending on the situation. But tonight, I think 1 point would have been, a disservice to our club here.
You guys are off to a great start, and like Soccer Sam said, musical defenders. You've been standing on your head. It sounds like you made 5 or 6 great saves, and keep it up. 2 more games on the West Coast before you kind of come back for a break. But imagine this start, 7-0. That would be wonderful. You guys are more than halfway there, so best of luck and keep it up.
Thanks, guys. Can't wait to get back to Rochester and open that brand new stadium. That beach's going to be beautiful.
All right, Scott Vallow. Again, an incredible start to the 2006 season. Sammy, we're going to wrap this thing up. I know it's only, 10 o'clock in Seattle, but it's 1 o'clock in the morning here in Rochester. Your final thoughts before we wrap up the show.
Can we do 1 second when Scott Palgutti's been waiting? Is it possible?
Sam, I'm sorry. We got to wrap it up. 1 o'clock.
Yeah, just say hello.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Great win tonight.
Way to go, Scott Palgutta. Keep up the good work.
I'll see you Friday night, baby.
Sammy, thanks for all your help. Awesome job tonight.
Thank you, baby. Bye-bye.
All right, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. It is time to end the Nextel Direct call-in show driven by Auto Depot and Auction Direct. Don't forget the next broadcast Friday, Rochester at Portland, 9:30 pregame right here on Fickle 93.3 FM. Don Stevens has the kickoff at 10 p.m. So for Soccer Sam, Don Stevens, and the wonderful producer in the studio, Sam Schreier, I'm Joe Giuliano saying ciao for now.